I'm attempting to travel across America by rail from the most southern train station to the most northern, and along the way, riding America's most unique, historical, and interesting trains this country has to offer. Now, there's only one way to know for sure if we're starting at the most southern train station.
And so we're gonna start right here, because it's the southernmost point in the continental USA, and because I drove 6 hours to get here. So let's head north and go find the most southern train. So if we use Google Maps to search train, the nearest one is just 600 meters away. It should be right, there it is. That's not a train, that's not gonna get us to Alaska. All right, let's keep going north. Now the most southern station and the most southern train in America are right here. This old car was part of a Florida East Coast Railway, which was destroyed in a hurricane in 1935. They found it on its side, righted it, put it at this little old station. It's now a museum, which means it's not gonna take us anywhere, so we gotta keep going north.
And so a 3.5-hour drive brings us to Miami for the most southern, actually functioning train that you can ride in America. Well, sort of.
The Dadeland South Metro Rail Station. This is our first train of many on this trip. Alaska, here we come.
This is DownieLive, Travels by Train, America.
Well, there's our train. Now this should be the only metro that we take on this trip. The rest of them are full-size trains, but you gotta start somewhere. As expected, it's quite hot in Miami. I'm kind of curious to know what the temperature is in Alaska right now.
Now, along this journey to the most northern train station in the USA, we will be riding on 10 of America's most unique trains. And each episode will have us unlocking one of them along the way. Because it's not about just getting to Alaska quickly, but seeing what America is all about and how trains made this country what it is.
So I'm sure you're wondering, why am I taking this trip? Well, because as we've seen recently, the world can change a lot really quickly. So I'm not waiting around anymore. I'm gonna check some items off my bucket list. And for me, Alaska is at the top of my bucket list, which I guess in this very specific sense would mean Miami is at the bottom, because we're going north. Forget it. Now, most would think to get further north to take Amtrak, but actually the most southern train station, like a proper train, is Brightline. That's a real rooster, right? Wow.
Now, Brightline is a relatively new private rail company that is improving train travel for commuters here in Florida with these new, bright and airy stations and regular frequent service. I mean, these tickets from Miami to Fort Lauderdale cost me just $10, and the trip will only take 30 minutes. But the most important change is regular service, with 15 trains a day, while Amtrak only runs a train once a day. It's modern, clean, and stylish with well-thought-out features like a flip-out for your phone. And so, we've just unlocked America's most southern train, taking us north to Fort Lauderdale.
All right, we're off. Alaska.
Welcome to Brightline.
Here we come.
Please take a moment.
Now, the big struggle for this trip will be to ensure that we stay on schedule and don't fall behind, because to get to Alaska, we're taking a ferry from Bellingham, Washington to Whittier, Alaska, which only runs once every 2 weeks. And so if we miss that ferry, well, we won't be making it to Alaska. But luckily, Brightline owns their own tracks, so I'm not worried about delays here. I'm worried about delays on Amtrak coming up.
Just listen to how quiet this is. This is the nicest train I've ever been on, I think. Now the irony in this is that this is America's newest train, but next week's episode is the oldest railroad in America.
Oh, thank you.
Got prosciutto wrapped mozzarella cheese. You don't get food like this on Amtrak or an airplane. Now to see how smooth this train is, we're gonna use my coffee to do the Jurassic Park test. I mean, that's pretty good. 79 miles an hour. It's a little fast. Okay, we're about to get off. Let's do a quick bathroom tour. Huge bathroom. Love it, clean, modern. This looks great. Wash your hands. Time to move on to the next train. Well, that was a quick ride on Brightline. Next, we have a long ride on Amtrak.
Oh my gosh, how cool is this? Brightline has free Tesla shuttles to get you to and from their station.
Thank you. Wow, car service.
But we're taking it to their competition.
Can you take me to Alaska?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, all right.
All right, good day.
You too. See you again. The station's a little different here, isn't it?
And so I arrive at the Amtrak station, but the door is locked. We'll be waiting outside for the next 45 minutes until someone from Amtrak comes to let us in. I mean, this is so different from Brightline, which has stations open all day from 6 a.m. to midnight. Luckily, it's a perfect Florida day.
That's like the smallest little train station clock I've ever seen. If you've watched my Amtrak adventures before, we'll see if this train arrives on time.
Because we need to make our connection in Washington, D.C.
It's not us, it's the Tri-Rail. I think we're next.
And here comes our ride. The Amtrak Silver Star taking us from Fort Lauderdale to Washington, D.C.
Here we go, leaving the sun of Miami, headed to Alaska. Am I the only passenger boarding our car at the stop? All right. So this is my first time on a Viewliner roomette. I've been on the Superliner roomettes before, but look at this. Oh, the natural light in here is amazing. 2 levels of windows. Bunk bed up here is going to slide down, I believe. Seat for me, seat for a guest. Lights, vent, get your own toilet. Just remember to close the curtains, and your own sink. Ah, it's a folding sink, so when you use it, there's no drain at the bottom, the drain is back there. So when you tilt it, all the water goes down the back. Pretty clever. Oh, perfect storage spot there. Bunk looks thin, but cozy.
All right, here we go. Now, if all goes to plan, we should arrive in Washington, D.C. in about 27 hours to catch our next train. This train trip will take about 27 hours, if it's on time, and it cost me about $600 for a roomette.
And normally I like to go explore a little bit around the train, go to the observation car. There isn't one on this trip. Normally I would eat in the dining car, but also this is our 3rd trip of the day, our 3rd train of the day. I figure we'll just get settled for a bit. And there we have it. Now we ordered the enchiladas. They're known as Amtrak's vegan and healthy option. Let's give them a try. It's made with plant-based protein, beans and corn and cheese, and it's good. It's so green. I have to say, I'm impressed. Amtrak is whipping along just as fast as Brightline here. It's 78 miles an hour. Farm, orchards of some sort. Oranges? Oranges.
Hey, nothing to see here, just taking a nap. Oh, come on, like you've never napped. Fine, I'll get up. We're arriving in our next city anyways.
This is a grumpy car. We're just arriving in Tampa. They call it a smoke break, I call it a fresh air break. Thank you. Tampa Bay, Florida. One thing I like about riding by trains is you get to see parts of the country, well, that I've never seen before. Bonus is, you don't have to worry about parking when you get here. I'm in the vlog. You're in the vlog.
And this is an unexpected turn of events. A little Florida afternoon rain to wake us up after that nap. There's something so peaceful about getting on a train in the rain. Hey, that rhymed.
Thanks, Tampa. See you another time.
And that means it's dinner time.
Dining car, and this is 3 cars up from our room today. Oh, this is nice. So I ordered in my room. They gave me a little ticket with my room number and stuff. Brought it here. He had my order ready, handed it to me, sat down on the table. Just kidding. Comes with a heated roll, raised beef short rib, green beans, carrots, mashed potatoes, brownie for dessert. I think that brownie is the best dessert I've had on any Amtrak trip. This is delicious. Now we have about 15 minutes at Orlando. Wow. I like just peeking into the stations. Some of them are so historic. It's a nice station. Stretch my legs. That's it. I think it's time to start getting ready for bed. What I've opted to do is the little mattress that's supposed to go down on top of the chairs for the bottom bunk, I'm gonna keep it on top so I get double comfort. All right. Getting to bed early because the time zone changed, but I'm really excited about this adventure. So I think with that, we'll see you in the morning.
And day 2 of our trip is off to a good start.
One good night's sleep later, and we're just crossing into North Carolina. I've never been to the Carolinas before, and I feel bad that I slept through South Carolina. Trust me, I needed it. I was jet lagged. Let's get today started. We have about 6 hours left on this train, or as you call it while you're on the train, 2 meals left. The reason I say that is there's nothing to do on the train except for wait and eat. 3 egg omelet with sausages and potatoes with a Greek yogurt. Now I think we just kick back and relax. One of my favorite things about riding the train is the different scenery. I'm from the Pacific Northwest with big, dark green trees, and this is like more lush forests. That's actually one of the things I'm really looking forward to on this trip across America is the vastly differing landscapes that I'll see as we make our way across.
Got some rail fans up there. Now there's not much else to do but spend the morning right here, watching the changing scenery pass by from, well, the comfort of this reclined seat.
We've arrived in Petersburg, Virginia, and I'll be honest, I brought the blanket down, reclined both chairs, got the pillow out, and I am loving it. People always talk about first class on airplanes and like the lay flat pods. You've got that here. And so Virginia makes this our 4th state, and I am in a state of comfort. Whoa, this is a big bridge. This is a big river. That was the James River as we're entering Richmond, Virginia now. This is, wow, there's a farmer's market. I'm just lying in bed. Oh, that's cool. Wow, it's a whole thing out here. This is typical Virginia, isn't it? Brick buildings and perfectly manicured lawns. All from the comfort of my Amtrak roomette. What's next? Wow, look at that. Lunchtime. All right, so today I ordered the last item on our list, the chicken a la rosa. It looks like this. I have to say, most of the food on Amtrak, well, the other routes are okay, but this one was kind of like airplane food. But this brownie, if you're ever coming on the train, I recommend this brownie. As my dad would say, this is so good, there's no way it's good for you. Which I think is obvious because it's a brownie. What can I say? Downies like brownies. All right. We're getting close. Time to start packing up.
Now, I haven't checked my phone since yesterday, but I'm very curious to know if our train is still on time or if we're delayed.
Looks like our trip is delayed by 1 hour and 45 minutes. So we'll see if I make my next train. This could be a theme for this trip, which is difficult because the way we're getting to Alaska only runs once every 2 weeks. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten you. Thanks, guys. Thank you. See ya. Let's see if we can catch our next train. We missed it. The next one to Philadelphia is tomorrow morning. Let's get a hotel. Wow, this is an amazing station. Looks like we'll be back tomorrow morning. Wow, even the outside is amazing. I already know this is a sign of things to come. Things aren't gonna go as planned on this trip, but that's kind of what it's about. It's seeing places, not being on time. So subscribe, because, well, for one, it's free. And also, let's face it, you can always unsubscribe later, so there's no risk. And 3, because I'm excited to see 10 of the most iconic trains in America. All right, let's head on to the fastest train in America to keep this trip moving. Now, I know we're heading on this big adventure to Alaska. This is probably the least adventurous train we could take. It's an urban commuter train, and we're in business class. It kind of felt like one of those things, we had to try it. This feels a lot like an airplane. All right, we're on our way to America's oldest train on America's fastest. This is the last time I will be alone on this trip. It's a big trip across America, so I've called in my good friends from all over the country. Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby.
Good
Good to see you again.
Now, my friend Bobby here is a professional TV and radio commentator and host, now with his own YouTube channel too, so he might help a little with some of the voiceover on this series.
All right, off now, Bobby. Will you leave us with a voiceover? Tell us where we're headed?
No, I don't do voiceovers. Are you kidding? My job is to talk. So here's what you need to know, folks. Our friend Harvey is catching a train to meet us here, and the 3 of us are going on a road trip that Mike has planned. I don't really know where we're going, but what I do know is that we're going to ride on the oldest railroad in America. Except he's booked us in a caboose for the night, and at some point we end up in an Amish buggy? I'm starting to wonder how I let Mike convince me to come on this trip in the first place. And that brings us to here, Strasburg, Pennsylvania, where we're staying at the famous Red Caboose Motel. Now that you're up to speed with the series, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm doing here.
Would you either of you consider yourself train enthusiasts in any way?
Uh-huh.
A little bit.
Somewhat. Not so much a caboose enthusiast.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main central caboose.
What?
Oh my gosh, the mattress doesn't even fit. Cozy room, I guess I'll be here. How's the bathroom? I guess it's got everything we need. Nothing more. So I admit I booked this motel for us, this caboose motel for us, not because it's the nicest accommodation in the area, but it seemed like the most fun and the most fitting, and it's already got these guys smiling and
We're gonna make it the most fun.
perplexed. I don't think I've ever seen you so confused, but I'm enjoying it. So the restaurant, which is a part of where we're staying, is also a giant rail car. Ladies and gentlemen, you met him at the end of last week's video. Bobby is joining us here today. He is also the wonderful voice we've been hearing throughout. And this is our good friend Harvey as well.
In fact, Harvey and I were actually roommates while we were working together at the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, and Michael worked with us as well.
But we haven't seen each other in 4 years. We haven't seen each other since that experience. We talk here and there, social media, text messaging, but we haven't seen each other. I really like the guys, but we never spend any time together. So I'm gonna be the first one, pull us together. We'll see if the train thing works out and how the three of us get along again. It's been 4 years.
This is probably a good time to tell you why we're here, eating lunch in an old rail car at a caboose motel in the middle of rural Pennsylvania. And frankly, it's because it's the closest accommodation to the train we're here to see, the Strasburg Railroad.
I love to pick menu items based on the name. So do I want to choose the caboose or the Southern Rail or the Rio Grande? Okay, I will have the Rio Grande, please. Look at the traffic out here today. Just
Think we can get a ride on one of those?
that looks pretty good and cozy. Actually, let me do. Yeah, that's good. That's good. How the boys doing over here? Enough headroom there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, don't sit up. Well, I hope you guys sleep well and you wake up on the right side of the tracks.
Miserable.
What are we doing?
Taking the train, the oldest.
They're a little in the dark. I've kept it somewhat of a surprise.
We trust Mike.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Fair
Do we
question.
trust Mike?
Fair question.
Mike, I think Harv and I both feel the same. We're wondering what we're doing, but we're following you, partner. We're the oldest here by about a decade. That's okay, though.
I expected this to feel more like a museum or a history piece, not a kid's birthday party. The options for us were the president's car, first class, dining, even coach. But me being me, I booked us the open air car. Woo! Luckily, it's a nice enough day.
It's chilly right now.
That's it, it's coming in.
No way.
It's backing in. America's oldest railroad.
Doesn't look it.
Not a day over 100.
So, as I sit here educating an uninterested Harvey about steam trains, I'm actually realizing how important this train is to the town here. You see, Strasburg has a population of less than 3,000 people, but because of this train, it is a rail enthusiast's haven with the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania across the street, toy train museums, model train shops, and well, even the Caboose Motel, all preserving and connecting tourists like us to railroad history.
The boys got their phones out. We were converting them slowly. Oh my gosh, we're gonna be right up front. We're gonna be the first car. Harvey, you have to read out the name of our car.
Hello, Dolly.
Thank you. I would love the emotion in that. I don't know how I convinced them to come here, but it's starting to click.
And so this is it. This is what we've come all the way to Pennsylvania to ride. 7 miles of track on one of America's most significant railroads, and we'll get to see what the guys think of, well, train life.
So it's a coal steam train. Wow, smells good. Honestly, it does smell good. I guess there's just one thing left to do. Let's get on board.
Beyond its historical significance, it's almost a magical experience being here. I mean, tell me this doesn't feel like the Hogwarts Express.
Wow, these are beautiful. They don't look old at all. This might be the best patio I've ever been on. I've never had a train deck that is on the front of a steam train before. I also don't know why it's pushing instead of pulling, but maybe that switches halfway. That's it, all aboard the Strasburg Railroad, here we go. Something about steam trains, it's like magic.
And also, lucky for us, we're riding along today with railroad royalty.
And that's the biggest train celebrity there is. Thomas is here.
Wake up from a dream, and this is what you're.
This is
looking
like
at.
the nightmare.
Yeah.
Like you see the light coming,
Right.
and you're like, ah! Look at the dog.
The reason this train is so significant is because the Strasbourg Railroad here is the longest continuously operating railroad in the country. Founded in 1832, almost 200 years ago, and still operates 5 steam locomotives and has the largest fleet of historic wooden passenger coaches in the country. And honestly, this is probably the perfect experience to introduce these two to trains.
What's not to like? It's loud, it's big, it's hot.
It's American.
It's American made. Okay, I fully admit, this steam train is incredible, the car is beautiful, and the scenery is unexpected. This is what I really like about riding trains, is that they take you all over the place. Especially these guys, last night they were saying, where are we? And in fact, we're actually in Amish country, which is what we'll go to after the train. But look at this.
There is no better feeling than standing face to face with a howling steam train. Now, the one thing to remember is that these vintage steam engines take thousands of volunteer man-hours to service and maintain, just so the 3 of us and you can come ride along and feel the power and history of the steam locomotive. It's a steaming, howling, rolling museum in a beautiful corner of the States.
You can hear it echo across the valley. Is this not a good time?
Initially skeptical. It's amazing.
Sleeping in a caboose is all worth it with this. It's better than I expected.
The initial skepticism has turned into like pure adrenaline just from the experience itself.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys were skeptical.
Oh, I was beyond skeptical.
It added to the build-up. This is great.
To see the amount of kids that are here with their grandparents too, like, even in front of us, it's just special to see that bond.
It's a great way to get people out and together. It gives them something to come and do.
All right, I think Bobby is on board with trains now. Harvey's a little harder to read sometimes, but I think he's just taking it all in. He'll come around, I'm sure of it.
This is so green, it's out of like a fairy tale. I can't believe this place is real. With a steam train like this, oh my gosh, you gotta go see a steam train. These things are great. I love how everyone comes out to see it. So we have come to a stop in the yard, and what they're going to do is they are going to disconnect the locomotive, run it out along these tracks, connect it to the back, and they're going to pull us back to the station forwards. I didn't even know that experience was possible. That was so unique. That was amazing. And now we just get the whole thing empty, quiet to us on the way back. So while we're stopped, I'm going to walk the train. I'm going to show you the different classes. So we have the outdoor car, coach class.
Here's first class.
Comes with a coal-burning stove, which is great because we know they have a lot of coal on the steam train.
And of course, there's the president's car. Which would you choose?
They don't seem like they're having as much fun as us. Let's head back to the open-air car.
For coach class, I would say this is very good.
I would travel the world like this.
Wow. Do I have a show you should watch? I could do this all day.
Me too.
Yeah.
Now the train ride is only about 40 minutes, but I guarantee it will put a smile on your face. After the 2 years we've all just gone through, I think we can all use a smile. And honestly, I think Bobby and Harvey have liked it.
And we're back. Back at the Red Caboose Motel and right coming into the station. 45-minute train trip made coming to rural Pennsylvania totally worth it. Oh, look at that, we're coming to the station. We're just waiting for Thomas to go by. I met him once. He's a great guy. Harvey, can you give us your rating on the train out of 10?
A 22.
Harvey, you don't give those out easily.
I'm not great at math, but
Was it worth coming all the way out here for
yes,
this?
yeah. I mean, I'd go anywhere with you, but yeah, this was icing on the cake.
I've enjoyed getting to spend this time with them again. And it might just be an old train, but I bet it's an experience they won't soon forget. And so I guess the question is, we've come all the way to Pennsylvania, so now what?
What do you think of our new wheels?
This is John and his horse, Commander, part of the 30,000 Amish people that live here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and he's going to give us a little buggy ride and tour of his community.
This really is a much nicer way to travel. Is it? You just have to have more time.
Well, you see more. 60 years ago, most of our people were on farms, I guess, but not now. We have a lot of people in woodworking and construction now.
Well, that's great. Do you ever have any issues with traffic?
Nothing real bad.
This is about rush hour.
Guy once in here. Yeah, people are coming home from work right now.
Turn signals on this?
Yeah,
or?
I do, right there. Yeah.
Oh, you're using them there.
Yeah,
oh, that's
it
cool.
Incredible. Soaking it in.
Love it here.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania here is the oldest and largest Amish community in the United States. And that's something I didn't expect to see on this trip. But I'm learning that's part of the beauty of traveling, to see these unique trains. Now, I had a lot of questions for John, and he was very kind and patient and answered them all.
Do you ever have any issues with traffic? Why the horse and buggies and not cars?
What do you guys do about garbage?
So cell phones, or
A lot of our kids ain't even on farms. We got kids
Makes
10,
it
12
fun.
years old driving sometimes.
Right.
Right. Roll again.
Good.
I worked for them when I was 16 one fall picking peaches and apples, but they have Amish people working for them.
But if you want to watch the full buggy ride and hear his side of life, well, join and become a member of the channel for just $5 a month, where you'll get to see all of the extra content from this series, including John's story.
Thank you.
pleasure to meet you. Thanks for showing us around.
Thank you. Have a good
So,
day.
the question is, well, what do we do with the rest of our afternoon?
I could whip you in some putt-putt.
And that's exactly what we did at one of the country's most scenic mini golf courses. We found a fantastic rooftop restaurant to enjoy the sunset. We picked out our train souvenirs from the gift shop and spent our last night at the Red Caboose Motel. And we're now headed on our way to episode 3.
That's right. Mike has convinced us to come along for one more train experience.
So, with a little driving to our next train, we wake up in New Hampshire.
Our room was supposed to have a view of Mount Washington. I don't think we can see the top of it today.
No, we can't see.
Yeah.
I'm taking my friends Harvey and Bobby on this kind of big train adventure, and last week we took them on a really nice steam train ride, but this week we're kind of leveling up a little bit. And I mean that in both senses of the term, but this weather is making it less desirable, I think. But we're in New Hampshire. I think it's gonna be great.
Here to go?
Let's do this. Where's Bobby? Ready to go?
Let's do it.
Judging by the amount of people on the road out here, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of people on the train with us. There we are, there it is.
My gosh.
We started the day yesterday and where we began in Strasburg, Pennsylvania. Now we're in.
I love that line. We started right where we began.
Right.
And we're likely gonna end at the finish today. Oh, there it is. World's first. 1869. That's a big mountain.
My goodness, look at this.
So I don't know if we've stumbled upon the best day to do this or the worst day, but there seems to be no one else here. A little bit of rain's not gonna hurt us. Ticket.
Thank you, sir.
Very welcome. We happen to be the only 3 on this train today.
Well, it might just be 2, because
Yeah, where's Bobby?
Where's Bobby? We never know.
Classic. Bobby. We're the only 3 on the train.
I thought you were gonna leave without me.
No. Well, we were
We got the
about
whole
to.
place to ourselves.
John, you're the brakeman here. No one else on board.
Correct.
How long is the trip up?
The trip, to the summit is 3 miles. We're not going to the summit today.
Why does it push instead of pull?
You want the engine to be on the down mountain side of the coach, okay? If it was up here and hooked to it and something happened with the connection,
It drops.
it drops.
So all the control is on the bottom side.
Correct.
Anything else we need to know about this before we get on board?
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Is it?
Your count?
3.
That's a good count. You're clear to go.
Let's get on.
board. There we go.
Yeah.
Everyone heard. Let's go, everyone.
Jam-packed here. Let's do it.
Sylvester Marsh here, the builder, looked up at this spot and said he wanted to make a railway to the moon. And so that's what he did, and it's still here. Now, before we ride it, I want to better understand and appreciate the railway, so let's head down to the shop and see how this all works.
So I'm taking the guys behind the scenes. We're gonna go see what it takes to maintain and operate a cog railway. And I'm hoping that this immersion into the railway world, say that 3 times really fast, will bring them on board with trains a little bit more appreciation, and maybe you too. Are you waiting for service there, sir?
Here we go.
Oh, wow. Take this guy on one nice train trip the other day, and now he expects the world. Holy cow. I did not expect a mountain cog railway repair shop to look this nice. Caleb here is a mechanical engineer. Gonna give us a quick tour of the back shop. I have to say, this is the nicest back shop I've ever seen.
Brand new. We actually just broke ground on it 2019, I believe, October-ish.
Wow.
Now, as you can see behind Caleb, there are a couple of crooked or angled steam locomotives. In fact, the Mountain Cog Railway here started and was built with this steam engine. And the reason the steam locomotives are tilted is so that they run level while heading uphill. But they're a little different from a normal locomotive.
And much like what you see on a normal railroad, you know, where the wheels are the ones that are turning, you'll notice these pistons are connected to what we call a crankshaft right here that turns that cog gear, what will mate with that center rack to actually provide the tractive effort up the mountain.
So it's not turning the wheels, it's turning the cog,
Exactly.
which pulls us up.
If you lift this up off the ground, you can spin those wheels by hand.
Right.
Good luck spinning that cog gear, though. It's got a bit of resistance to it.
So the cog under the locomotive uses the teeth to grip into the rack, like it's climbing up a ladder to the top of the mountain. Now, if you want to see all the detail that Caleb gave us on how these locomotives work and how they use hydrostatic drive, well, you can click the join button and become a member of the channel for just $5 a month and watch all the extra and uncut videos there. But for now, let's get on board. John, these seats seem to be at a steep angle.
They are at a steep angle.
I'm practically sliding off here.
But it will make sense when we
Okay.
and then when we get to where we're going,
Yeah.
we flip them around.
Oh!
Now you're leaning back.
Oh,
That's Harvey's favorite. It's just incredible engineering.
And so, this is the beautiful coach we'll be riding today. In fact, they're not just hand-painted, the whole car is handmade right here. But it's not actually on tracks in here, so how do you work on it and move it around the shop?
You know air hockey, right?
Yep.
So it works the same way as that. They're called air casters. A big square about yay by yay with an air bladder underneath it.
Right.
We hook it up to shop air, see the compressor right there. 4 of those per each axle. Apply some air, lifts the thing up, 4 guys at each corner.
You basically turn this into a giant hovercraft to lift it.
Exactly. Isn't that cool?
That is so cool. John, what was the purpose of the railway in the first place?
Why was strictly tourism right from the get-go?
Really?
Yes.
150 years later, it's still operating as tourism.
My job going up the mountain
Yeah.
is to be up front here. I got to keep my eyes on the tracks because the engineer back there cannot see the tracks. So if I do see any debris or anything wrong with the tracks, I can give him a signal to stop.
Right. John's our eyes. Safety, our eyes. Here we go. This isn't the steepest part yet, but I already have to split my legs. You're leaning against the wall. It's steep. The reason the tracks are elevated above the ground is because it's a mountain railway. This allows the tracks to stay clear of debris like rocks and snow that fall and roll around on a mountain landscape here. And in fact, it's the only railway in the world whose mainline tracks are built entirely above ground level. And as you can hear, it's not a perfectly silent experience, as the cogs click into place between each rung on the center rack. And it does have a slight vibration to the experience too, but that's just all a reminder that this isn't like any other railway in the country. It's the first mountain cog railway in the world. This is how steep it is. I'm sure this isn't coming across on the camera, but I don't know how to explain it other than I'm bewildered at how and why there's a train that's able to accomplish that. And so if the steep slope doesn't remind you that you're on a mountain, the rapidly changing weather will. Still snow up here. And this isn't fog. This is us climbing into the clouds. Did you guys expect me to bring you on something like this when I booked this trip?
No. I also thought it was spring.
And now we're about to cross Jacob's Ladder, an impressive engineering feat on this climb. It is a 300-foot-long trestle that takes us as high as 25 feet above the ground while curving to the left, all while climbing the steepest part of the track with a gradient of over 37%. In fact, Jacob's Ladder here is the steepest railway trestle in the world. And also, you'll notice that we're not climbing within a forest anymore. We are now above the tree line, surrounded by rocky subarctic tundra. Look at that. We're headed.
There's a train ahead of us right there.
Holy!
He knows about us,
The track crew that's working on the tracks right now.
And we're not able to summit today because of the track work taking place, which makes me wonder, how are these trains made?
Everything is designed and built in-house. So, for example, the diesel engine, obviously we buy that as a package. Same thing for the pumps. But this platform that you're standing on, all the superstructure, everything else.
Anything cog railway related.
All of this was made in-house, design and everything.
This is the world's oldest mountain cog railway.
Correct, first in the world.
And you're kind of maintaining that heritage while also modernizing.
Exactly. This is a staple piece in the state of New Hampshire. We want to keep it alive.
Awesome. That's exactly why we're here. Just in bewilderment.
I mean, thinking about where I could be right now
yeah, right.
versus where I am.
So would you recommend if a friend invites you out of the blue to come on a trip without giving you much explanation about what it is?
Yeah. Don't ask any questions. You'll be surprised for the better.
I will be quite frank. I thought it was a generic type of train trip. I thought you were a train nerd. And like I said, the expectations have been more than exceeded.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that I've managed to convince Harvey and Bobby that these old, unique trains are worth preserving. And the best way to do that is to come ride them. These trains rely on ridership numbers and ticket sales to keep operating, and, well, I think they're worth having. I don't know what they were thinking when they built this, but I'm glad someone had the ambition to make it happen. And so this is the halfway point, where they have a little treat planned for their guests.
Coffee and hot chocolate for us? This, look, it doesn't get any better than this.
This is freaking awesome. You got s'mores.
And the fact there's only 3 of us up here. Harvey, you wanna go roast a marshmallow?
Yes, please.
All right. Perfect. I'll see you guys at the bottom. We're gonna go ride in the cab. Phil, nice to meet you. Thanks for having us inside.
So you used to operate the steam trains.
I did. Now these days I'm getting older. These are definitely nice.
A little more comfortable.
A little smoother ride.
This single passing point on the route allows them to run up to 8 trains at a time when it's busy. 4 going up, 4 going down at once. And so Phil flicks the switch and away we go, headed back down. But as with any train ride, I have to ask.
Can I try blowing the horn?
Yeah, that one right there.
That one right there. Thanks. Now I want to say, we weren't fortunate enough to see the top of the mountain today. So if you come to do the Mount Washington Cog Railway and you get to go to the top, take pictures, post it on Instagram, and tag me, because I'd love to see it.
And so, after pinning the map that I'm visiting from Vancouver, Canada, we've collected our complimentary fridge magnet.
Thank you.
And it's time to go explore New Hampshire. And stop for lunch at a business that has benefited from the tourism that the Cog Railway brings to the area for over 100 years. This is the Omni Mount Washington Resort. And when this incredible hotel was built in 1902, it had over 2,000 doors and 12,000 windows, which is a random but interesting fact I found on the internet.
We're having lunch downstairs in the restaurant. And that's Mount Washington there, except you can't see it because it's cloudy.
But what I found most interesting was that we're eating lunch in a room just next to where the World Bank and International Monetary Fund were created and signed into place, right here in 1944. And, well, eventually in 1986, the hotel was declared a National Historic Monument. But we only stopped for lunch here because we came to see the Mount Washington Cog Railway, and it was just down the road.
I've been to New Hampshire before, but never this part, and I think it's just gone way up my radar map. Like, expectations have been met.
Moral of this trip is just ask questions.
And the other moral of the story is to always subscribe.
And here's another thing. Remember where you parked the car.
Yeah.
Harvey, what is your plan? How are you getting home?
I can tell you it'll involve some sort of train.
You don't have to say that.
Well, it is true.
For me, this has nothing to do with my liking or disliking for trains. I am flying back, but I think Mike needs to understand, as a train enthusiast, that I am much more open to considering train travel after this trip.
Wow, he's come around.
With that revelation, I think we can start the long road trip back to the big city. I guess the moral of the story is to say yes to trying new things. This might mean sleeping in a caboose, riding in an Amish buggy, or riding an angled train, but you never know where those things will take you. And as long as you're doing it with the right people, you're doing it right.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Mike, where are you off to next?
I'm glad you asked. This is America's longest train. I should clarify, it's not physically the longest train by number of passenger cars, it's the longest in distance traveled by a single train, taking us from Chicago, Illinois to Los Angeles, California, over 4 whole days. And so, we're starting right here.
And of course, I'm taking my dad with me. We're starting Chicago Union Station.
You couldn't convince most people to sit on a train for 4 days, but my dad is retired, and he just has the right attitude. He's willing to go anywhere at any time. I like to think I got a little bit of that from him.
They've already started boarding the train, so no lounge for us today. Head straight on board.
And like any good adventure, we're already having troubles finding our passenger car.
Room A. This isn't a sleeper car. No, we gotta get off this coach.
But we did stumble into an old friend.
Look who it is!
What's
Caesar!
going on?
Good to see you!
Good to see you. Hopefully we see more of Caesar on this trip. For those who don't remember, Caesar was my car attendant when I rode the Amtrak California Zephyr. But back to this trip.
So we have the roomettes here, one on each side. My dad and I a bedroom this time, because they're twice as big. I've never stayed in a bedroom before. Let me give you a room tour. Okay, so we have our bedroom. A bench couch seats 3. We also have another seat around the corner behind my dad. This will fold down into 1 bunk, and this will slide out into 1 bunk, so we're sleeping here. We have our own sink, mirror, and a bathroom. walk in, very nice, with a shower. Hello, hello. If this is how it's starting, I think we'll go insane after 4 days.
It's small, but it's comfortable.
Should we? It's the biggest they offer.
Yeah.
So it's not considered small in the Amtrak world. I should tell you, I paid over $2,000 for this room for my dad and I to go from Chicago to LA, just in case you're wondering about price.
Worth every penny.
So far, he can't ever go on vacation. And so, without much waiting around, we're off and headed out of the Windy City.
I'm hoping to spend 4 days in peace and quiet, first of all. I want to see almost all of America in one swoop, and I'm going to enjoy your company.
Kind of hope for the same thing. A nice, relaxing trip, some food, wake up every morning with a different view, and not know what's going to happen that day, but have no plans.
Mississippi.
No, it's the Chicago River. He's just excited. The train runs through the industrial backroads of Chicago before running into small towns of Illinois.
We've been going for about 20-25 minutes and we're already out of the city. That was quick. Now that is Joliet Union Station. And that's one of the things I enjoy about these trips is getting to see all the different stations. And on this train in particular, you get to see the most.
I'm going to have the Atlantic salmon.
Let's go with the baked ziti, please.
With our dinner order in, it's time for us to sit back and enjoy the passing scenery.
It's nice seeing us go faster than the traffic. No platform on either side. But we have stopped because we're in the station of Pontiac, Illinois. And the reason I wanted to see it is because my first job was at a Pontiac dealership. Let's go find the cafe. Oh, that's handy. We are the closest bedroom to the dining car.
This is what Amtrak calls a diner lounge. It's not a full dining car, but rather a half dining car and half cafe on the other side. So I grabbed some pretzels and a coffee and joined my dad at a table because, unfortunately, this train does not have an observation car. So this is the only social space we can use.
So this journey will have our train changing in San Antonio, and I'll explain that later, but basically, this is the only communal area for us, is this single car that's half cafe, half dinette. But we should get a proper dining car tomorrow.
And so my dad will have to hold his excitement for the observation car a little longer. I mean, we still hadn't realized our food situation would be disappointing.
The name of the station is Normal, Illinois. Imagine telling that to someone who doesn't know you yet. Where are you from? Normal. Okay. I wonder what someone from Normal is called. If you know the answer, leave it in the comments below, but is it a Normalite, a Normalin, a Normaler?
Now, the beauty of taking the train is truly seeing all of America, from farms to backyards to small towns to big cities. Now, I should mention that this route is not typically a bucket list trip for most people. In fact, for the last 2 years, my dad and I have taken some incredible train journeys together, from the northern train that takes you to the polar bears in Canada, or on Canada's most luxurious Rocky Mountaineer train. And well, I hope he's not expecting a similar experience to those. In fact, some would say that spending 4 days on an Amtrak train sounds like a nightmare trip. Well, for me, I'm looking forward to spending some time with my dad. And hopefully he feels the same. But only time will tell how this goes.
Here we are in Springfield, and that is the Illinois state capitol. And the clouds here really remind me of Springfield, The Simpsons.
Well, I think we can say we've fully settled in now and we're ready to see America. But just as we get comfortable,
dinner time, here we go.
So it's back to the diner lounge, which, to clarify, is not an official dining car. That will be attached tomorrow, along with the observation car.
I've never had a shorter walk from my bedroom to the restaurant. We have, it's great.
So in the meantime, we're eating microwaved meals off the flexible dining menu.
This is the pasta and meatballs. Looks good, smells good.
Meals are included in the ticket price, but with another 3 nights on board, I can tell you, my dad and I are both left looking forward to the proper dining car where food is actually cooked on board.
That's it, the gateway to the west.
Sort of on the level of the Eiffel Tower. You look at it, you know exactly where you are in the world.
Okay, we've got a bridge. Dad, I gotta ask you, which river is this?
This is the Mississippi River.
There we go.
There we are with the arch above it.
This is the Mississippi River this time, which means it's the first time I've ever entered Missouri.
It also means it's already our second state of the trip, with many more to come. And I have to admit, I've only seen the St. Louis Gateway Arch in photos. but with the buildings in the background here, you can really see how big it is. This is really starting to feel like a tour of America. Now, before I get too distracted, my favorite Amtrak dessert has arrived. You've got to try this.
It's soft.
Is that not a delicious brownie? Other than the meals, the other excitement we'll have on this trip are the fresh air stops. St. Louis. All right, St. Louis is a crew changeover spot and a refuel spot, so we actually have about 55 minutes here, which is really rare. I just realized we're wearing the same shirt, but in different colors, and you've got the long sleeve, I've got the short sleeve.
I got the long sleeve, you know why?
Why?
So I can be warm while being cool.
Caesar! I can't believe we're on the same train again.
It's been a while. Hey, YouTube!
Is this one nice too?
This one's nice.
We're gonna have some scenic views?
Yeah, we're gonna have some nice little beautiful views here and there.
Good.
Hopefully you guys enjoy it, all right?
Yeah, thanks.
Like and subscribe too.
This trip has been shockingly easy so far. We're perfectly on time. The weather is incredible, and wow, just hanging out with my dad is really nice. So nothing new to report on. It's all going well. But I don't want to get ahead of myself because we've only been on board for 6 hours and we still have another 60 hours ahead of us. And off we go again. I can tell you it's a nice night for a train ride. Oh, look who's here. Look at that. That's a Brightline train. We were on that 3 weeks ago. What are they doing up here? They look brand new. They must be delivering them. The flat landscape of Missouri leaves lots of time for a long and lingering sunset. And on the other side of the car, the added treat of the moon hanging over the Mississippi River. And so once I've watched my first Missouri sunset, there's only one thing left to do. I don't have a watch on, but I figure by the fact that the sun's setting and we've had dinner and there's nothing else to do, might as well get this bed made up and go to bed. There's a foot pedal. Normally your car attendant will make the bed up for you, but I thought I'd give it a shot.
Oh,
how we do so far?
You're doing good.
We got the post up, right?
Right.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it. You are set.
Thanks.
I feel not needed.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We'll let you do it tomorrow night, I promise. All right, good night.
Thank you. Good night now.
I guess which bunk do you want?
Oh, I'll take the bottom.
Yeah, that was easy. I'm realizing this now, but we should have brushed our teeth first because we now have no room to get to the sink. We also forgot that we didn't take our luggage out from under the bunk, so Dad is... I got it. No. It's under the couch when it's in its shortest form, and when you pull it out, it's still way back there. Good thing he's still young and limber.
We're done.
Nice work, Dad. Arcadia Valley, Missouri has a little caboose at their station. Kind of what I like about taking these trips is you never know where you're gonna go to sleep or where you'll wake up. So I guess tomorrow we'll find out where we wake up. This is, it's snugger than I remember. There's really not much room here when you're lying down.
Oh.
Now I know how Harvey felt. Hope you're not claustrophobic.
I'm just gonna brush my teeth and go to sleep.
All right, good
See
night.
you in the morning.
See you in the morning. Woo, good morning, Texas.
Breakfast ends in 45 minutes, so time to go eat.
This morning we have a 3-egg omelet, potatoes, sausage links. The way I'd describe this is edible. I promised my dad good food on this trip, so I'm really hoping we get this dining car for him soon. This cafe dinette is not as good of an experience as the dining car that we'll get tomorrow. Well, I guess we sit down, settle in a different spot on the train. That's all there is to do. Or nap. I should be taking notes. The man knows how to live the life. And so while he sleeps, I'll fill you in on the day. There are a lot of water towers in Texas. I mean, a lot. Some would say that the landscape is boring, but depending on where you're from in the world, this could be really interesting. So here we are, watching it all roll past until we arrive at our next big city and fresh air stop. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dallas, Texas. Oh, that is warm. Oh. Can you tell we're Canadian? Just a cool 97 degrees out here. These stops offer just enough time to stretch your legs, but not really enough time to go explore anything. So to keep entertained, I was looking around and spotted this tower behind us. But my dad seems to have found another building that's a little more interesting. So that is the book depository
It is definitely the book depository, and that's the Daily Plaza, and that's the location where President John Kennedy was shot.
We go. To go from here, Dallas, to San Antonio by car is 4 hours and 16 minutes. Or if you take the train like we are, it's over 10.5 hours.
Yeah, but that includes lunch.
Yeah. Always finding the positive side of things.
Oh yeah, that's the mall right there. That's the knoll.
Yeah.
Oh, God, get that.
And sure enough, as we leave the Dallas station, my dad is right. This is the spot where JFK was assassinated in 1963. Those are the things I didn't expect to see on this train trip. But that just goes to show, take the trip because you never know what you'll come across. Might not have been a very positive piece of history, but it's a historic moment in America anyhow. And so, our ride across the second largest state continues. Fort Worth, Texas. I feel like we're doing the milk run. We have an hour-and-a-half stop here. We're not just making a lot of stops on this train, a lot of long stops. Oh, we're over 100 degrees now. Woo! Still, when you're on the train for 4 days, no matter how hot it is outside, you still get out for a minute. Stretch your legs, fresh air, getting our steps in. I should check how many steps we've taken. You weren't far off. 351 steps today, and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's not good.
Oh yeah, 645.
Oh, you've done more than me.
Yeah, well, I got up earlier.
You got up early. Alrighty, that's enough. Let's go get lunch. And I know it feels like we just had breakfast, but really, not much else happens on these trains. So this is called the Red Tie Noodle Box, and it's the vegan meal. And my dad and I both decided to try it.
Just tastes fine.
Yeah, you're right. Meatball's good too.
When we had the salmon, I said it tasted like it looks. This one tastes like it should.
And so to make things a little more fun, Amtrak is riding along some of the roughest stretch of track I've ever experienced. Okay. Which just means it's a much more, let's say, exciting afternoon. And as we continue south, the landscape gets drier and drier. I'm told Texas is both in a drought and a heat wave, but you can't feel it from the inside. Now it's over 100 degrees outside, and I'm inside wearing my wool jacket while Dad's wrapped up in the blanket. The AC is going in here, and I'm enjoying it. I'm cozy. Rough.
Rocking, shaking, and cold with the air conditioning.
Oh wow. Real train. See the trains you told us about, Pat. We've got an old caboose here. And so we settle into our routine of stepping off the train at each fresh air stop. Woo! There's that Texas heat again. 104. 104. To eating the next meal. Fingers crossed, the rumors are true, and tomorrow the food improves. Watching the American scenery pass by, and stepping off at the next fresh air stop again. Austin, Texas. And this is where Caesar breaks the good news to us.
San Antonio is going to be my final destination. Yeah. After that, a new crew from LA actually takes over from your car. So you're going to have actually a diner, observation car, the whole deal after this.
Okay.
So you're not going to have it the same way you left it out here.
So we came down on this train and they're going to reconnect us to a different train.
Yeah, basically that's what's going to end up happening.
I'm going to miss you.
No problem.
I'm going to miss you. We'll say goodbye.
I will say
and
goodbye.
My dad is excited. Next stop, San Antonio. That's where we get the dining car. Time is currently 10:58 and we're here waiting to get off because we have a unique opportunity to go see the San Antonio Riverwalk.
San Antonio Riverwalk is beautiful.
And we have about 2, maybe 3 hours to go do it. I just realized we've dressed the same again. Black shirts, black pants, gray shoes. What can I say? I had a good role model. My dad always taught me to enjoy life. So while Amtrak connects our car to the new train, we're heading out for a quiet time on the Riverwalk. Little river, sunken below street level, and it has great shops and restaurants. I feel like we're finally getting our steps in too.
I mean, this is the time to be here. It's not 100 degrees, it's what, 32 degrees?
And there's no one else on the Riverwalk with us. But then we realized this is likely our last time off the train for the next 2 days, so just like he taught me, we decided to make the most of it. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is why I ride the train. I think if I've learned anything from this guy, even still, at his age of 76, is to take the opportunity. No matter how short or small the window, go enjoy it. Thanks for coming out with me, Dad.
That was a pleasure, Mike.
Was good.
Absolutely.
Oh,
made the whole trip worth it, and the trip's only half over.
Only half over. See you in the morning. And after a short night's sleep, we're still in Texas, coming up to the Seminole Canyon State Park and Historic Site. These are the views I wanted to see on this train. Well, a lot has changed overnight. Not only has the scenery changed, but also the configuration of our train, for the better. We no longer have the half and half diner lounge. but if we walk through coach class, it will bring us to the moment we've all been waiting for.
Then you get the observation car.
And now the very last car on the train.
We arrive at the dining car.
Thank you.
Look at that smile.
Just let me say, the last 2 days was just to prepare us for enjoying this. What a different world.
It's just gotten that much better. You'll notice the menu has changed to the traditional dining menu.
This is the experience we've been waiting for. Eating a properly cooked breakfast along the Seminole Canyon State Park. I know it might not seem like a big difference, but eating microwaved food for the last 2 days has us shockingly happy for this. It's starting to look like this 4-day trip across America wasn't such a big mistake after all. Still having fun with my dad, new food, and a new backdrop means there's only one thing left that can make this moment any better.
Oh, this is good. I mean, the last thing I want in Texas is a hot shower. All right, you get it.
And now we settle back in for our regularly scheduled programming, which is more of this and a little of this. I have to learn to do that more often. The desert out here is beautiful in its own way, but I enjoy it from the room on a train. I would not want to be stuck out there or lost. Now that I'm showered and my dad is rested, we just sit here. Sometimes quietly, sometimes talking.
The colors are so real. They are.
It's not very often I get to just sit and spend time with him that's not part of some sort of family event. I mean, we literally have nothing else to do right now. No Wi-Fi, no work, no schedule, nowhere to be. It's nice. I mean, but maybe the best part is that the man that taught me to enjoy the little things is right here with me, and we're living it together. Like this next unique experience.
This is Alpine, Texas. We got off right in the middle of the road here, but there is a station.
But what's really interesting is that the station is so short that our train blocks the road for the whole 5 minutes we're here.
I just love that we get these fresh air stops in towns you'd never visit. Looks like a cute town, and apparently it's the gateway to Big Bend National Park as well, so I might just have to come back.
Ah.
Cute. You gotta love these old stations. There's definitely a charm about this. Riding by rail. Here we go, back on board. See you next time, Alpine. It's lunchtime.
Yes.
So we sit down again and order the regular burger and the veggie burger and trade at halves so we could both try them. And if this is lunch in the dining car, I'm so excited about dinner tonight. And with the new dining car, means we get proper desserts. As we're rolling along the southern border of Texas, you'll see some interesting things. This full-size Prada store is apparently some sort of art installation. There are a lot of dust tornadoes out here. Apparently that blimp is used by Customs and Border Patrol. So this little town here with a population of just 235 people swells on February 14th to thousands of people because everyone wants to mail their Valentine's Day cards from here, the town of Valentine, Texas. But after all that excitement, we're coming to the part of the trip that I was worried about. Boredom. On a train trip that is 4 days long, 2 days of which have been in a single state, out of cell service for most of the time between cities, and stuck in a room with nothing else to do except to look out on this unique landscape. I mean, it really does remind you how big America is. And even when it feels like there's nothing to see, there's always something to look at, particularly when you're stopped with delays. There's a freight train ahead of us with a knuckle issue, so Union Pacific is up there trying to fix it, but we don't know how long we'll be stuck here.
There's just the two of us and that cow out there, and that's it.
We're appreciating the moment.
The desert brings perspective. Some of these scenes feel like they were sets in a Western movie, while others are just kind of mesmerizing. Either way, that's why an announcement, any announcement, becomes all the excitement the train needs.
You're now going to go outside, grab some cash, and meet the world famous El Paso Burrito Queen. Yeah.
Meet the Burrito Queen. Sounds good, El Paso. Oh, that is something I definitely have to try.
Brisket from the El Paso Burrito Queen. $3. She's lined up 30 people deep. I didn't think El Paso would be that nice of a station, but when there's food, and is this good? Yeah, make the stop, make the stop.
So after El Paso, we took the opportunity to go sit in the observation car, and this is everything we dreamed of. Leaving El El Paso has us riding along the famous border wall, but also crossing the Rio Grande River, which was also the lunch I ordered 2 episodes ago at the Red Caboose Motel. But it also means we finally left Texas and we've entered New Mexico. Finally! We'd been in Texas since yesterday morning. And as the New Mexico landscape changes and rolls along, well, my dad is in for a dinner delight. Dad?
Yes.
You notice?
Oh, yes.
White linen tablecloth.
Very nice.
Dad, last night together, dinner in New Mexico at 80 miles per hour at sunset.
Doesn't get better. Fabulous.
It's a good way to end a good trip.
Yep.
I think you can tell that our mood has improved. The new dining car and the observation car have given us new life. I mean, it really is 4 days of sitting and eating, but Dad here is great company and easy to travel with.
This salmon is so much better than the microwave salmon.
Than the flex dining menu salmon you had the other day?
So much better. Wow.
I think the decision is clear. We both much prefer the proper dining car over the flexible dining menu. It's important for me to mention that the cost of meals is included in your roomette ticket, but don't forget to tip your servers. Now, regardless of which dining car you get, it's always nice to have time to sit down together. Sometimes these small moments are more valuable than the big adventurous trip itself. If there's anything this train has done, it's shown me parts of this country I would never otherwise get to see. That's the station. That's the Amtrak station, right there, that little bench. Oh, right. And it's given me time with my dad, which I never would have taken. As adults, we never just get to spend 4 full, undistracted days with our parents anymore. Whether you want to or not is another thing.
It's been a hell of a trip. Really, it's been amazing. It's been a little slow in places, but really exciting in some. And I want to thank you for bringing me along. It was great. And I'm ready to come any other trips you want.
Okay, I guess we'll leave it in the comments down below where we should go to next. And with a little lightning overnight, we wake up on our last day in California. We know we're in California because all of the wind turbines are clearly charging Teslas, and as we pull into the sand-blown station of Palm Desert. But really, I feel like the landscape and scenery from this trip is so uniquely American. Nowhere else in the world could you get a sunrise like this. And that's why riding the train through 7 states for 4 days has been worth it. I mean, this trip has been great, but I'd love to ride something a little more luxurious. Wait, does Mom have a birthday next week?
Yeah, it's next Saturday.
Dad, I'm sorry, I love you, but I'm switching you for Mom. Let's go, let's go. Oh, here we go. It's their 70th birthday today. So, Mom, here you go.
Oh, Mike.
Happy birthday. You see, growing up, my mom used to get National Geographic and Outside magazine mailed to the house, and the Utah editions were always her favorite. A trip to Utah is her bucket list trip.
So, remember in 2016 when I surprised you with a trip to the States? Well, it's time we do that again. Whoa! So get ready for a DownieLive Rockies to Red Rock surprise experience. Woo! Ready? Woo!
What's it say at the end?
Let's go.
Let's go! We gotta go! We got your bag packed! Bye, everyone! Bye! The thing is, she doesn't know where this birthday trip is taking her. Not there yet.
Not where yet.
Yeah. Mom, welcome to the Rocky Mountaineer.
Woo! Fantastic, Mike.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, on the count of 3, we're going to shout all aboard, all right?
Ready.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
All aboard!
Welcome aboard!
Here we go. So, what does this train offer? This is a huge, spacious train. And so, the train has large, and most importantly, clean, glass-domed windows, a fold-down table, and a menu for first-class meals brought to us at our seat. And I think while we're waiting to start, we'll go do a bathroom tour. Wheelchair accessible. Wow. Look at this. I can't even touch the wall. Look how spacious this is. Simple toilet. Nice big mirror. This is much better than the bathroom that I was in on the airplane to get here. That should be right there. Look how small that was. Look how big this is. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, take a look to your left, take a look to your right, say hello to your neighbors, raise a glass, and let's cheers to the adventure.
Cheers. Time to sit back and relax with a mimosa as we leave the station. Now, the first stretch of track is through the industrial areas just outside of Denver, but we're distracted by breakfast.
Got the drink cart already, hardly out of the station.
Pretty good service, amazing service.
There's the California Zephyr.
We run along some of the same tracks as the Amtrak route, but we'll let them go first because our train will go a little slower so we can enjoy the scenery more. That's what we're here for, after all.
Lovely. Whoa.
Thank you. Oh, this looks delicious.
Really one of the best scones.
I was going to say, this I think is the best scone I've ever had. I don't eat a lot of scones.
My favorite spot on the train is the outdoor deck, where I can stick my head out into the wind and take better pictures. But there's another spot on the train that's pretty special.
Now, they say there's a lounge car, so let's go find that. Wow. Mom, you've got to see this.
Oh, wow. Wow. What?
Jeff, what do you think?
This is dope.
Yeah. We found the spot. Look at this. Okay. This is an incredible rail experience.
This is like really, really cool.
This is classic rail luxury.
This is it.
With like a modern touch though.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it in this bar. What?
I'm not gonna lie, this is all I need.
That's it.
This is all I need. So this lounge is great. It's happening, but there's a second lounge. I want to go see it. And they say this one is a little bit more modern looking.
Both lounges offer the same amenities, they just have a slightly different feel. Well, let me know, which one do you prefer?
Personally, I think I choose the historic one. It's just a little warmer, a little more inviting.
This trip only covers 380 miles over the 2 days. But that's because it's not designed to get you from A to B as quickly as possible, but rather for you to experience as much of this landscape as you can. Not only is this one of the most scenic stretches of track in the country, but it also has some interesting engineering features. Firstly, you'll notice a few tunnels. Well, actually, a lot. There are 33 tunnels in just 13 miles.
This is the most dense section of tunnels in the world.
And slowly, we get outside of the greater Denver area and begin our ascent into the Rocky Mountains.
So these low wires are sensors for rockfall. It'll knock it off, and that alerts them that there's a rockfall on the tracks.
Clever.
Yeah. That's some fresh Rocky Mountain air. Perfect day for this.
Now, just in the first hour of being on board, it's already been an incredible blend of scenery and engineering.
So the terrain here is so steep and rocky, it's difficult to have a train go up it, which is why we often go through it. And this will never get old. As you can see on the side of the tunnels, they're all numbered. That's tunnel 20. So what are your initial thoughts?
Pretty neat, lots of rocks and trees and tunnels.
Aren't you a huge tunnel fan?
Oh,
I remember.
Love being in the dark.
Another advantage of riding the Rocky Mountaineer is that your experience comes with a car attendant. And August here is incredibly knowledgeable and shares facts and stories along the way, which also means that you never miss a photo opportunity because he always warns you when it's coming up.
Apparently there's some residents that love the train, so we're gonna see if we can spot them. Oh, that's great.
Last week, I traveled with my dad, and this week with my mom. They're not separated, they're still happily together after 37 years, but it's still good to spend time with them individually. Instead of getting to know them as my parents, I'm getting to know Allison a little bit better. Which feels weird to say as a 35-year-old, but I've just never really taken the time.
This really is one of the most enjoyable train atmospheres I think I've ever encountered.
Unbelievable. Piano playing, no one there.
We're just about to enter the famous Moffat Tunnel, which has us cross under the Continental Divide. It's over 6 miles long and will take us about 15 minutes to go through.
I think the most impressive part about the Moffat Tunnel, other than it's incredibly long, it's actually the highest point we reach in altitude on this trip, yet we're underground.
That's true. So we're currently at 9,500 or 9,300 feet, and then the mountain is actually on top of us. We're actually traveling underneath a lake right now.
Wow.
Yes. And they used to have problems with it leaking into the tunnel, so they had to line the bottom of the lake.
Wow! Gosh, the engineering on this is amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
And just on the other side of the Moffat Tunnel is a ski resort. And now it's back to the scenery where we'll be riding alongside the Fraser River. Each lounge offers a different feeling, but my preference is still outdoors on the deck with the wind in my hair.
I really couldn't plan much of a better day.
Now, the nice thing about this train is that no matter where you are, you will always have great windows and great views. And so we settle in to watch the rafters, ready for wine service and lunch. I should say that all food and drink is included with your ticket price.
I like my wine to match my rocks.
Red's the color of the day.
There we go. How am I doing with the surprise trip, Mom?
Amazingly, Mike, it's first class.
The restaurant I chose is good so far.
It's divine, fabulous food and scenery.
You're a tough critic, so this is good.
And this isn't even as red as it gets. I mean, I didn't know it yet, but day 2 will really blow me away, and my mom too, which is what we're all here for.
I'm not the only one filming here today. There's a TV show filming as well.
So for now, we're happy and relaxed, just what my mom should be on her 70th birthday. I mean, 40th. Sorry, Mom. The scenery just keeps getting better and better and better. You already know how I feel about dessert. And once again, we're letting Amtrak pass.
There's the California Zephyr going the other way. Whoosh. All right, now we can go again.
The amazing part about this trip is that there isn't just one scenic spot along the way, but people are constantly taking photos as the landscape is constantly changing. Once you think you're starting to get bored, you go around another corner or turn into another canyon. It feels like you could do this trip every single day and it would never feel the same. Just based off what I've seen today, I would absolutely say this has to be added to any bucket list train experience. But I hear the Utah landscape that we'll see tomorrow is even better. So I'm really excited about that, and I know my mom is too. Now, as we're nearing the end of our day and heading towards Glenwood Springs, we still have to go through this, the incredible Glenwood Canyon, which actually holds an interesting spot in railroad history.
So we're on the Rio Grande tracks, which was originally built as the Rio Grande Railway, and they noticed that passengers were always craning their necks to look up to see the top of the Glenwood Canyon because they just had small windows, and so they actually made the first glass domed cars specifically for this piece of rail.
Beyond being at the bottom of a steep and narrow gorge, the other impressive feature here is Highway I-70. It winds and twists along, often having to have one direction on top of the other just to fit in this tight space. Now, as you may have noticed, this is a 2-day-long train trip, but there aren't any sleeper cars. Well, that's because they don't want us to miss a moment of scenery, so instead, we'll be staying in a hotel overnight in the western town of Glenwood Springs, Colorado. And the best part is, they hand us our room keys while we're still on the train, and our hotel is right across the street from the station, with our luggage already in our room waiting for us.
Wow, crazy.
And that's part of why I love traveling by train, is having these opportunities to get out and explore along the way. So we have dinner with some new friends from the train. Good. And now it's the morning of the day my mom has been looking forward to for 25 years.
Ready for day 2.
Oh, sure
Moab.
am.
That's where we're going.
Looking forward to it. Can't wait.
This is the scenery I have never seen before.
And I haven't either. Some great scenery.
A little adventure that she doesn't know about yet.
Woo! Love adventure. Can't wait.
Okay, Mom, enough camera time. Let's go.
And she still doesn't know what I have planned for us at the end of today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Morning, August.
Morning, welcome back.
Thank you. Look at that sunrise coming up on the red rocks. Glenwood Springs was beautiful, and I wish I'd had more time. I'm excited for Moab. All right, thank you for a great stay, Glenwood Springs, and bye.
See ya. Have fun in Moab.
Thanks.
But first things first, breakfast.
2 frittatas.
Frittata.
Frittata.
Half a coffee in us, and we're good to go.
And so now we're settled in and enjoying the Colorado scenery rolling by.
You want to know what wakes you up faster than coffee in the morning? A train going full steam, baby! Okay, we're awake. Let's go have breakfast. Starting with local cinnamon rolls. Breakfast in a canyon.
Frittata in a canyon.
Frittata. They say the view helps make it taste better.
Oh, that must be it.
Must be it.
Almost.
So that right there is Grand Mesa, and they say it is the world's largest flat top mountain. It's not actually that tall, but it's about 500 square miles of flat plateau at the top. What do you think?
Pretty wonderful. Lovely colors, great countryside.
That was a nice station. We passed by Grand Junction Union Station and continue towards Utah. This stretch of American landscape is not accessible by car, so you can only see it by train or river rafting.
So cool. It's too cool. Oh my gosh.
Is this what we came for?
Oh my gosh.
And my mom is excited. This is what she's always wanted to see.
Oh my, look at this. Whoa. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh. This is
We're not even in Utah yet. That's exactly why I brought her.
It's a wall of red and it's gorgeous.
I know this is an expensive luxury train trip, and not everyone can necessarily afford it. But on this trip from Miami to Alaska, I've made friends sleep in a caboose, and my dad freeze on Amtrak. But this is my mom's birthday, and she deserves this. I mean, all the work she's put into raising and supporting me, the least I can do is give her her dream trip. This might be the moment she's been waiting 25 years for. But trust me, this is even more fun for me. There's nothing out here. Nothing else out here.
Nobody.
Just you and I.
Yeah.
And 600 other passengers. Couldn't have picked anyone better to bring on this trip.
Oh, I just love it.
So the train is slowing down so we can see the Colorado-Utah state line, and I think I've got the right spot to be to capture this. Welcome to Utah. We made it. Should I tell people to follow you on Instagram with all the photos you're getting? You can follow me on Instagram at Downie. I'll share your photos for you. And she still doesn't even know what's waiting for her at the end of all of this. But for her, this trip has already been worth it, especially with the special greeting team as we pull into the station here in Moab. Thanks, August. Welcome. It was a great trip. Woo! 2 days later, and here we are, Moab, Utah. We're off the train, but that's not it, because what do you do in Moab, Utah? We're about to find out. You see, my mom is the adventurous parent, the wild one, and I know exactly what she wants to do. Utah is home to 5 national parks and 43 state parks, which makes it the adventure capital of the US. And all my mom wants to do is play in the Red Rocks. So that's exactly what we're going to do. You always wanted one of these, right? It's her birthday after all. She may be turning 70, but she's as adventurous as ever. Nothing makes her smile more than being outdoors with a little adrenaline. And this Hummer delivers. I mean, really, there's no better way to get out into the heart of Utah to have a little fun than with some serious off-road. Hands up! Come on, Mom! No, not you, Chad! Hands on the wheel! Go! Woo! This is exactly what my mom wants. And if you need proof, look at her. Other than the laughter and the smile, you can tell she's loving it because she won't put her phone down. If she's enjoying it, she wants photos. My mom has waited 25 years for this trip, and I think she'd say it's been worth it. But my advice to you is to do it now. The world is changing quickly, so get out there and do whatever is on your bucket list. It's not about the luxury train or riding in a Hummer. It's about sitting and laughing together. I mean, that's what makes this trip memorable. And it ends in the best way. Parking up at the top of a rock and getting to spend this moment with the incredible woman who raised me. The sun might be setting, but you shine brighter than ever, Mom. Happy birthday. And with that, my journey of riding trains from the most southern train station in America to the most northern continues. But the ferry we're taking to Alaska only runs once every 2 weeks, which means I have some extra time. And so we're back in Union Station in Denver, here to pick up the man himself. Whoa! That's my brother, Mikey. Welcome back. What's up, Mike? Oh, man. My good friend Will Edmond has flown into Denver to join me for a week of my trip across America.
but he's never been on a cog railway, or a steam train, or to the Grand Canyon before. And he doesn't know I've picked the next 3 trains specifically for him. We're crossing 3 experiences off his train bucket list. Now, because these trains are in such remote areas of the country, they're actually not accessible by train, so I've rented us a car. And our first stop is here, a hotel so prestigious, we need a reservation just to enter the property. Good evening.
Checking in with us today?
Yes.
Perfect, make it a last name.
Downey, D-O-W-N-I-E.
Have a good night.
You too. Welcome to one of America's most significant hotels, the Broadmoor.
Holy, look at that ceiling. Well, that's the ceiling of an outdoor space for cars. I feel like I'm in Aladdin. Yeah. Oh, nowhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Broadmoor. Now, the reason I booked Will and I to stay here at this luxurious hotel is because the Broadmoor has its history directly connected to the train we're here to ride. If we're going to check off this item from his bucket list, we need to do it right. So, to bring you up to speed, here's how this hotel is connected to the Cog Railway. Nearby is the Pikes Peak Cog Railway, which had its first train summit in 1891. And 27 years later, Mr. Spencer Penrose had this hotel, the Broadmoor, built to stand as an elegant hotel in the Rockies. Mr. Penrose then built the Pikes Peak Highway, which ran up the mountain alongside and as competition to the railway. So Mr. Penrose then bought the Pikes Peak Cog Railway with the intention of closing it down so his highway would get more tourists. But it turns out that the railway was so profitable that he decided to keep it. And it's still owned by the Broadmoor today.
You want to go up the famous spiral staircase? Oh, goodness. Will.
Yes.
How do you feel staying in a hotel that has had numerous presidents and dignitaries, kings from other countries?
I feel like royalty myself.
Yeah, look at this.
This is like an antique hotel. I like it.
It's not like an antique hotel.
It is.
It is one of the American antique hotels.
104
years old.
4 years old.
And speaking of those diamonds hanging from the chandelier, this is the longest running 5-star, 5-diamond hotel in America. Wow. And so, as the sun rises across the lake and this incredible property, it's easy to see why so many dignitaries chose to vacation here. Well, isn't this just the best way to start the day? This area and this hotel are phenomenal, but we're not here for the hotel. We're here for an incredible railway, so we've got to keep going. What a cute town Manitou is. This is Manitou Springs, Colorado, a population of about 5,000 people, gateway to the Rocky Mountains, and sits at the foot of Pikes Peak, and home to the Broadmoor Manitou Pikes Peak Base Station. What a cute station! A charming little station already sitting at an elevation of 6,320 feet. Wow. Look at this! But to make sure we properly check this train off Will's bucket list, I've gotten us invited to go behind the scenes to see how it all works. Even though this train is already on his bucket list, you always appreciate something more when you learn more about it. Now, Will wasn't with me 3 weeks ago when I rode the Mount Washington Cog Railway, so while you and I know how a cog railway works, Jimmy here gave Will the full rundown. From how the cog and rack works.
In the center is we call the rack rail, and the trains have gears underneath them that mesh with this, and this is actually what provides our propulsion and braking.
To the angled seats.
Look at them from the side, you'll notice the seats that face uphill sit higher than the ones below them.
Okay.
They kind of tilt downward.
Even to the labeling system.
You have Coach C. Yeah. This is a panel with signal wires in it, and it's the first one in this car because it's labeled uphill to downhill.
To the snowblower.
And of course, being a mountain railway, they deal with a lot of snow. You can get snowbanks 14, 15 feet high. So they need a snowblower machine, and this is the train that does that. To their newest trains. So this was essentially a custom order.
Yes, it is. In fact, this locomotive, from what I've been told by Stadler, is the world's first all-aluminum locomotive.
Wow, and that again is to make it as light as possible for climbing and descending.
Yes.
To how you drive one.
It's actually very basic. So
You've got your speed control here, so this is motoring going up the mountain and dynamic braking coming down the mountain. It's very simple to operate. It's all computerized, so there's lots of safety features.
And I'll admit, I probably enjoyed this more than Will.
You ready to go ride?
I'm ready to go ride, man. You ready to go ride, Mike?
I'm ready. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
That was great.
Thank you, Jimmy. See you later, bro.
And so Keith here is going to bring us out to the station for the first train ride of the day.
Nice meeting you.
You too, Keith. Thanks again. Have a great day in the sun. It is windy, it's cold, and it's 30 degrees Fahrenheit colder at the top. I think I'm underdressed. I need another sweater. Wow, they have everything in here. Oh, I like that.
Since it's his bucket list trip, I booked us the best seats available.
You aren't the first one, though. Just to let you know.
We are or we're not?
You're not.
Ah, perfect. Then we're not.
That's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. But I'm assured all seats get a great view.
How long have you wanted to do this train?
Man, I've been wanting to do this train for 4.5 years. 4.5 years.
That's right. In fact, this is as long as we've known each other. We've ridden many trains together over the years, but mostly just ordinary Amtrak trips. Which is why I wanted to do these bucket list trains with him. It's fun to help friends unlock achievements. And that smile means we've unlocked train number 6 on my train journey.
I'm so excited about this trip right here. Woo! And I got my homie Mike to ride with me.
So, for the next 9 miles, we'll be riding along the Pikes Peak National Forest. I mean, remember, this was originally built as a tourist train, so it is a scenic experience.
So I think we picked the right direction. We're facing uphill, which means when we're going uphill, it's just pushing us back into our seats. I feel like I'm reclined.
The scenery slowly changes from tall forest to a thinner forest among large rocks. And seeing this now really has me wondering how they ever decided to build this. I mean, while this is one of America's best tourist trains, I'm here because Will had it on his train bucket list, and it seems like he's enjoying it.
How's it doing so far, Will?
The views are not disappointing.
Meeting expectations.
Meeting expectations. It's getting chilly here as well.
But we're still excited to get, I think, above the tree line.
We're now coming up to one of the 3 passing areas. You see, this is a single track up the mountain, and these passing areas allow you to have multiple trains running at once. Now, this is a historic railway, but it's also undergone a complete refurbishment in 2021, and so it feels brand new again. We're climbing to more than 14,000 feet, which makes it not only America's highest altitude cog railway, but in fact, the world's highest cog railroad. And when you reach these kind of heights, it gets a lot colder. In fact, the temperature at the top will be 30 degrees Fahrenheit colder than the base station.
Of our railway
It's getting cold.
also from
It's a good thing we came prepared. The other benefit of climbing the side of a mountain is that we'll come out of the forest and out above the tree line, which finally shows us just how angled we are. I mean, we're climbing at an average grade of 12%, but at the steepest point, we'll hit the max incline of 25%. And it's really odd looking out and seeing the world slightly tilted. I think if we look at Will, it's clear to see that, well, no, it's not so. I have no idea what he's thinking.
Are you feeling like the air is thinner?
Man, I'm so nervous. I'm like, my nose feel like it's stopped up.
I didn't think I'd notice it. I'm sitting and I'm feeling out of breath.
But that's okay, we're gonna make it. We're just passing Windy Point, which is only 2,000 feet away from the summit and, oh no.
I don't know if you can hear that. That's the wind. So because of the strong wind today, we can only go halfway. We can't go all the way to the top.
You see, there's nothing but sheer mountainside here, so the wind has, well, nothing to stop it, and we don't want to risk having the wind blow us off tracks. Keith here is taking it into his own hands to see if it's safe enough to pass or not.
How was it out there?
47, but it's a lot stronger than that.
47 miles per hour?
Yeah, but it's got to be higher.
It's got to be more. You can feel the whole train just moving.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, just listen to it. That is clearly stronger than 47 miles per hour winds.
Yeah, it's blowing.
And I can, in fact, confirm.
Yeah, it's strong! Yeah, it's windy. It's windy.
And while I'm okay with not summiting, this is Will's bucket list trip, and we need to do it right for him.
Will, do you think we have time to get off, get up and around, get back onto that one?
I think so. Or should we drive up?
Yeah, let's get to the top.
Let's go.
So it's time to hop back in our car and head for the Pikes Peak Highway. Remember, the same road built by Mr. Penrose, the one built to put the cog railway out of business. Luckily, we still have both. Now it's still a toll road, but it does come with a set of instructions.
Uphill, you're just fine in drive. Just keep the air conditioning off. Don't forget to breathe. And you guys have a great day up there.
Thank you so much. I think that's the first time I've ever started driving a highway with a strong warning and instructions about how to drive it without overheating and burning your brakes on the highway.
We're now on our way up to finally see the highest altitude train station in America. The drive itself will take us about 2 hours of winding back and forth just to get to the top.
You see that zigzag road? That's where we're going.
So I'm glad I brought a good friend along for the ride. It's a road full of switchbacks and hairpin turns, often with no guardrail along the side of the road.
I'm not afraid. Wow.
This really does feel like the historic trifecta of tourist attractions. The Pikes Peak Cog Railway was first, followed by the Broadmoor Hotel, which then built the Pikes Peak Highway. And we've done it all in one day, and only because it's on Will's bucket list.
The wind is still strong.
I'm feeling that. I need an oxygen tank. Yeah. I'm like, you come up here, make sure.
We're just driving up. We're heavy breathing.
Choosing to ride these tourist trains, whether it was the Strasburg Railroad or the Mount Washington Cog Railway, the Rocky Mountaineer, or the Broadmoor, Manitou, and Pikes Peak Cog Railway, they always bring you to such incredible and unique places. All because we decided to ride a train. What a fun day! Sometimes you just need an excuse to get out and have fun with a friend. And here it is!
Pikes Peak Summit. Almost out of gas, out of breath. But we made it. We couldn't pull in by train today, but we made it to North America's highest altitude train station. Just goes to show not everything goes to plan, but hopefully next thing things will. Good trip, buddy. We made it. We made it to the top.
But this isn't the end of the line for us. So we drove through the Colorado snow and arrive at our motel after midnight.
No. We got here too late. The office is closed. Closed. Oh. There's no way they would just leave the key out on the door in the public like that. They just left room keys out on the door like that.
I don't know if that's safe.
I love this little town already. That's trustworthy. That's a great community.
Waking up to the sound of shunting rail cars and active steam locomotives has us up and excited for our day. Welcome to the small town of Durango, Colorado.
Did you?
I caught it.
You saw that?
Oh man, I saw that.
Steam trains are so cool. Okay, let's go check in. Don't want to miss it.
The Durango station here was built in 1882 and is kept in its original condition.
This train is not only a National Historic Civil Engineering Landmark, but also a registered National Historic Landmark. It's pretty significant.
They let guests go right up to the steam locomotive, which is such a great touch. Now, for Will's first steam ride, I figured there's no better than the Durango and Silverton narrow gauge railway.
Okay, well, I guess we have to figure out which car we're in. Sitting in Yankee Girl, which is a parlor car, I believe.
So we are going to Cascade Canyon today, guys, and we are going to be having a lot of fun, all right? I'm going to give you all the information on the way down, all the history of the train, all the history of the different locations and stuff, and we're going to hang out in Cascade, and then we're going to head back.
Sean, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet
See
you
around.
guys, too.
And we're off.
Oh, I love this.
And off we go, unlocking train number 7 on this journey to Alaska by rail.
So for the next mile or so, we'll actually be running through the town of Durango before we get out into the countryside. I can't believe they have a railroad in town and they don't have actual crossing signals.
They've been in continuous operation running train excursions on this rail line since 1882. And yet they don't have safety gates at the rail crossings.
And now we're out of town and here we go across our first river. It's gonna be a beautiful day.
Man, I'm ready. I love trains like this. Like Mike and I've caught Amtrak all across the country, but it's something about those old trains and like the rockiness and the smell going across the rivers. Make me feel like I'm back in 1892.
So this is a narrow gauge railway, and they say the Yankee Girl car that we're in, they call it Shaky Girl. So this is going to be a rocky ride. Oh, I almost lost the water bottle. But I think that makes it more fun.
Right.
So since we're in the parlor car, non-alcoholic drinks are complimentary, but you can add liquor to it if you'd like. So this could just be coffee, or it could be coffee with Baileys. That's up to you. This is one of the few crossings we have. We're crossing a highway at the moment.
This 45-mile stretch of track was built by the Denver and Rio Grande Western Railroad. Remember that name from previous videos? The tracks were originally used to transport silver and gold mined from the San Juan Mountains. And as we climb further into the mountains, the scenery starts to change. And tell me you don't just love the sound of a steam locomotive out in the wild. And the parlor car may just be the best place to sit and take it all in, with its crown molding and vintage style. But that coffee has gone right through me.
Well, as we leave town and on our way to the canyon, let's do a bathroom tour. It's beautiful. It's not big, but has everything you need. Toilet, small sink. Two things I like best in here. Smoky stained glass window and the open window above you, you know, to vent out any unwanted smells. Will.
Yeah.
I know we're enjoying the parlor car, but should we go see the open air car?
Oh man, you know I love being outside.
All right, let's go. So each car does have an outdoor deck like this, but there's one open air car.
We have to walk through a few coach cars and a very popular cafe car.
This is the cafe car. This is where the fun is. It smells good.
And we arrive just in time for the action.
Oh look, we're about to enter the San Juan National Forest. So this section, there's 8 inches of clearance between the rocks and the train on each side. You did it?
I touched
You
the rock.
touched the rock? You're crazy, bro.
Oh, but look at those
Wow. This is incredible. The other nice thing about this being a tourist train is that they run their own tracks. No other trains run along here, so they can slow down as much as they want for these scenic viewpoints. You know, we're not holding up any freight trains.
Not rushed.
We're here for this. We're here for the views.
This is the famous horseshoe curve. And so they slow the train right down to make sure you can get all the photos you want here.
Whoa. Amazing.
You don't get this in the car.
Oh no.
It's a scenic train after all. It's not about getting you anywhere fast, but about making sure you get to see it.
Get closer. Yeah. We may tip over.
So Will, I booked this train for us. You didn't know about this train at all.
Not at all.
How are we doing so far?
Man, we're doing perfect.
Did I pick well?
You always do it well, Mike. That's Mike Downey, y'all.
It's incredible.
Riding the cliffs of a canyon in Colorado has to be the best choice for a steam train. And I'm glad Will agrees.
Now we're coming up to a bridge, and I heard a little sneak peek rumor that we might get a blowout.
A blow-off, or blow-down, is how the engineer clears out sediment at the bottom of the boiler. But for us, it means the ultimate steam train show.
That is impressive. Wow.
These are the days. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Let's head back to the parlor car for a refreshing little top-up, both for Will and I, and also the steam locomotive.
Should we head back to our car?
Yeah, I think we need to get another mimosa.
Okay. We're moving now. So we've stopped at the moment because we're a steam train and we need water. So that's the water tower. We're refilling and then we'll keep going. I'm not gonna lie, it looks like they're gonna be using some good fresh Colorado water.
Actually, it pulls its water from Tank Creek. Here's the creek, and here's the tank, refilled directly from that flowing river?
So our max capacity is about 550 passengers, and that's running heavy at around 15 cars. And then when that happens, we got to put 2 steam engines on the front.
Oh, really?
Not just one. Yeah, because we can't gain incline well enough, and it's just too slow. The one steam engine can't gain enough traction to pull all that weight.
Teamwork.
Yes.
Or as we call it here, steamwork. Well, this feels exactly as I expect it would feel like to take the train in the early 1900s. Yeah. You know, wherever you were going for whatever reason, you were hoping to strike gold in the West, or
maybe get some silver in Silverton.
That's right. So I think this is a Y intersection. We're gonna pull past it, back in, stop for lunch, and then we'll be able to pull out forwards and head back down south. And there's the switch, which means it's just about lunchtime. So there's the conductor who's gonna hop off, switch the switch, and throw us in reverse. And so we're currently pulling into Cascade Canyon. We'll have about 45 minutes to get out and explore. Oh wow, there's a station and everything. I thought we'd just get out in the forest.
The train backs right into the forest for our 1-hour lunch stop in
Cascade Canyon.
Some use the time to eat lunch, while Will and I, well, we go up to the front to see the locomotive pulling us.
Yeah, this is the former Denver Rio Grande K36. I'm the fireman. This is my first day up on this branch. Usually I work in Chamon. We run the same exact stuff, but it's just on coal. Just going up the canyon, seeing the river, looking back and seeing the train. I mean, we're recreating history here.
And this is when I noticed something else down the tracks.
Now, something that most passengers don't know is that there are actually 2 speeders. One is here, the other one is a little further down the tracks, and they go on either side of the train. One goes ahead of it just to make sure there's no rock fall, landslides, trees across the tracks as we're coming along. And the second one follows us, kind of in case someone drops a phone or something else, they can radio to them and they'll find it and pick it up for you. I wish we could ride on one of those back. Maybe another day.
Now that we've enjoyed Cascade Canyon, we know it's time to get back on board because the locomotive does this.
All right, that's the all aboard, time to go.
And as I'm about to board, I got chatting with John and Siri here.
Big fans.
You're great. And they invite me into their parlor car to see the deck at the back of the train.
And if you're at the very back parlor car, you can step on the rear platform. It might be worth paying the extra money for the final parlor car to be right at the back of the tracks. I love this view.
I mean, these rear decks on trains really do make you feel like you have the whole train and countryside to yourself. It has to be the most spectacular train experience you can have. Wow. But I didn't come here to ride the rails alone, so let's go find Will again. If you offered me the best seat on the train alone or the worst seat on the train with Will, I'd choose to sit with Will every time. Even in the quiet moments, it's more fun with a friend. So, our return trip goes past all the same sights we saw on the way up. But the trip back to Durango is much faster because it's all downhill.
So Will, I know this is just a stopover train on our way to the Grand Canyon. Yeah. But how was it?
Man, that was amazing.
And you can hear the steam train horn. I love a steam train.
It's also a reminder that we're in an incredible part of the country and that these trains give us a destination to come visit, and in turn lead us to so many more sights and experiences to see and try.
All right.
Thanks again, Sean.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mike. You have a good one, man.
I will. Yeah. All right, we're off to Mesa Verde.
Oh, yeah.
To get Will to the Grand Canyon Railway, which is the last train on his bucket list, we have to drive. So we may as well stop and see a few things on the way, like the renowned Mesa Verde National Park, which is known for its well-preserved ancestral Puebloan cliff dwellings.
Wow, that's amazing. What do you think, Will? Don't leave me here hanging.
I'm sorry, I'm just taking it in. It's so beautiful. This is crazy.
It's incredible.
Like a work of art.
For us on this trip, the trains are the destination.
Oh, Mike, I think we are going the wrong way.
I gotta turn around?
Yeah, you gotta turn around, bro.
But in doing so, they reveal a number of side destinations along the way that I didn't even know about until I get here. That's why taking these train trips are so important. For Will, it's about the big bucket list items. But for me, it's enjoying the small things, like watching the sunset as we drive through New Mexico into Utah, or drinking a polygamy porter.
Polygamy porter. When in Utah.
I'm just happy. That's it. I'm just happy to be here.
Or waking up to this backdrop.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Utah is awesome.
you gotta do it.
And maybe you end up on a place that you recognize from an old movie. Is this another bucket list item?
This is definitely one. One of my favorite movies.
All right, let's keep going. More to see. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to get Will to the Grand Canyon. And so we're in Williams, Arizona, where the rail experience is about to begin. The town of Williams, with a population of about 3,000 people, grew as it sits on Highway 66.
See, Williams, Arizona was the last town bypassed by the I-40. And I have to say, Route 66 here feels like a small main street in town, but it's still just as lively as I imagined it was back in, well, 1984.
It's still a fun-feeling Western town, but I think the train is one of the biggest tourist draws to the area. It feels like a piece of America frozen in time.
Hello.
Hello.
Picking up. Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Oh, good. Picking up tickets from Michael Downey. We got the tickets.
The day starts with a funny gunslinging show, which helps to set the tone and take you back in time on this Western adventure.
I think that's the sheriff.
Sam! Sam! What? I got a tourist up in the crowd, missed their photo. They want to retake. Get up.
You know what I like about this? It's a shared experience to set the social scene for everybody, rather than us just getting on, sitting on our seats, and that's it.
Right.
This is cool. Fun way to start the trip.
They introduce us to a couple of up-to-no-good characters that they say we won't see again.
Those are stolen horses, and you boys stole them.
But something tells me we just might.
Woo! Great job, great show today. Hopefully, maybe we'll see you later. They might come back around, but we're headed to the train now. Time to board.
Now that the show is wrapped up, it's time to find our seats in the dome car. Now, since we're ticking this off Will's bucket list, I thought I had to do it right, so when I booked these tickets, I booked us in first class.
And grab your ticket?
Yep.
Okay, let's go find our train.
Let's go, man.
And I thought it had a dome car.
This is our car, Yavapai, but it doesn't have a dome car.
This is train, bro.
Let's go see if we can sort that out. So we're back at the ticket office because we realized we didn't have a dome car. So we've asked. It's five minutes until the train leaves, and I think we're getting something. Well, that worked out. Doesn't hurt to ask, does it? Here you go, Will. Your first class ticket.
Thank you, man.
Enjoy your trip to the Grand Canyon. We're at the back one. Well, actually, but everything's boarded. Oh no! If we miss it because we were switching, I regret it all. But if we make it, I regret nothing. Let's go, Will. You don't want to miss your trip to the Grand Canyon. This is the only patio on the whole train, and because we booked this car, we get access to it. But the reason this was so important for us to get this, sorry, I'm still out of breath running for this, is as you can see, we have a dome car, which of course means instead of just seeing out the side window,
and welcome aboard.
you can see 360.
And off we go, departing from Williams Depot right on time. I have a feeling that's not the last time we'll see them. The 64-mile-long railroad that we're riding was built by the Topeka and Santa Fe Railway in 1901 and led to increased tourism to the Grand Canyon, which in turn has led to the Grand Canyon Railway being added to the National Register of Historic Places for its contribution to the history of the United States. Without this train, the only way to get to the Grand Canyon was by horse and wagon. Now, luckily for us, we do get to ride the train, and our rail car has great curved windows, and being at the back of the train here gives us the best views of the train up ahead.
These are some of the most comfortable train seats I've ever had.
Man, these seem like the seats that you have in your living room.
Yeah, and we're high up, so we have a really great perspective out of the window.
Right at 40. All right.
They say that's the longest train tunnel in Arizona.
Now we're settled and on our way. Let's take a look around, and I think
we should go check out the bathroom. Oh, I like the door. Time for a famous bathroom tour. So far, I really like the historic look of it all, but it's done with a modern feel still. We have old-looking lights, wonderful old original faucets, and a metal toilet that does exactly what it's supposed to. But the nicest touch is the crown molding. I don't think I've ever seen a train bathroom with crown molding. And while we're down here, why don't we check out the lounge?
Our bi-level rail car is above first class. It's ticketed as a luxury car and has seating in the dome car upstairs, while down below is the lounge. This is a place where you can come down and grab a drink at the bar, socialize with others, or just relax.
I feel like I'm at my grandmother's house, like with their furniture like this. Like that's kind of exactly what it's supposed to be. So the train today is going to take about 2 hours and 15 minutes to get to the Grand Canyon. And that will be Will's first time there. We'll have 3.5 hours to see it all. And then on the way back, well, he's seen and done the Grand Canyon. So we're gonna take the Pullman, which is the oldest car in the fleet. It's just about 100 years old. Hey, Will. Hey, Mike. You wanna go check out the Chief car? So we are in the second last car. The last car has the outdoor deck, but it's a parlor car. They don't have a dome car, but ours has the dome, which I think makes ours better.
This last car on the train, the Chief car, is the second of the 2 luxury cars and is a large single-level lounge car. But it might have the best spot on the whole train.
Thank you.
From back here, you can not only enjoy the warm Arizona wind, but you can enjoy the open views behind us. Or stick your head out and look ahead along the whole train. I mean, this might just be one of the best train experiences in the world.
This is what I'm talking about. If this isn't the best way to travel, I don't know what is.
I feel like I took a step back in time.
Yeah, this is like where presidents would make their speeches.
I have a dream today that one day Mike Downey and Will Evan will catch a train.
Needless to say, Will and I will likely spend most of our time out on this deck, and it's moments like this that make the small upgrade in price from a first-class ticket to the luxury car worth it. I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Could I have picked a better way to get you to the Grand Canyon?
Man, this is the best way to get to the Grand Canyon. I think I'm gonna stay out here for a while just to catch all the views, man. Yeah. I'm excited about this trip. Thank you, Mike.
My pleasure. I mean, this is a bucket list trip for me too, so.
And also, y'all, the best way to experience America, I think, is on the train. From what we call Amtrak, the Cog Railway, and this is how you do it.
Oh, really? There's no one else out here except for Will and I. Will! Yeah! Where's everybody?
They're sitting down eating snacks.
I guess they're all enjoying the luxury car. You and I paid extra for the luxury car.
Well, we're outside.
We're sitting outside on the deck.
Okay, all this wind is making me thirsty.
Now, if I know Will, I want to treat him well. He's gonna want a mimosa. He's gonna get you a mimosa.
They have mimosas on this train?
Full bar. This is what you get when you're in the luxury car, Will. Woo! That's the sound of you checking off a bucket list item. Now we can go back upstairs to our seats, but I think we should sit in the lounge.
And so with mimosas in hand, we're loving this quirky looking luxury car. This really does feel like how dignitaries would have traveled across America 100 years ago.
Wow. It's like the Serengeti out there. This is wild.
The landscape changes pretty drastically out here, from barren plains while we're in the lounge, and by the time we get back to the deck, it's a rockier forest area, which means we're entering the Kaibab National Forest and that much closer to the Grand Canyon. Now, since this is a tourist train, others aren't taking it to get from A to B, they take it for fun, like Susan here.
Why are you taking the train, the Grand Canyon Railway, today?
Because it's fun. It's her birthday.
It's your birthday? Happy birthday, Susan!
And it's my 50th.
Holy cow! You don't look anything like 50. That's amazing!
And this is what I love about these tourist trains. Everyone is here for a good time with good company.
The landscape is changing. It's no longer that kind of arid desert look. We're back into the forest. And we're getting pretty close to the rim.
This train will take us right up to the South Rim. And in fact, the South Rim Village was built around the station. Because remember, this is one of the first ways to be able to access the Grand Canyon.
So we have officially entered the Grand Canyon National Park. Not only an amazing train trip, but a very fun trip.
Very fun.
But you've done this before and you chose to do it again for your birthday.
And I'll do it again, I'm sure.
And do you think Will is excited?
We're coming up on the last mile. Should we head upstairs, grab our seats?
I think so.
Yeah, let's watch it from there. That was it.
That's the Grand Canyon.
That was it. That was it, your first shot.
Wow. I just saw a big hole in the middle of the earth.
And here it is. The Grand Canyon Depot is an official National Historic Landmark and is one of only 3 stations still standing in the United States made of wood. But best of all, we're just steps away from Will checking off the final item on his train bucket list.
All right, we have 3.5 hours to explore the Grand Canyon. What happened? We're the last one on the train.
We were the last one.
Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, wonderful. This is it. Coming up to the South Rim.
Oh, this is crazy. Oh my goodness, look how this passes. Wow. This thing is huge, man.
That's what I'm told.
I I didn't expect I would be here in 2022.
Yeah, it's all flat.
Like Mike just randomly like, hey Will, you want to go on some train trips? I'm like, I love trains. And for him to cross off so many things on my bucket list, man, make you feel like my brother.
Of course. Friends.
Wow, man. I'm crying just a little bit.
That's okay. That's okay. I don't really know what to say here. I didn't expect this reaction from Will. It goes to show that these little trips can mean a lot more to some.
Like, wait till I dry my eyes before I go on camera. Wow, I've always wanted to see this. Always.
These trains really can create some of the best experiences and memories. I know I'll never forget this, and I doubt he will. Life is better with friends. I brought Will along because I thought he'd just be a fun guy to have on a fun trip. I didn't realize the impact it would have on you.
Usually I'm supposed to be vlogging right now. I've just been taking it in because I love nature so much, and it just is.
It's literally the first time I've ever seen him without a camera in his hand. So worth putting up with all the driving, Pikes Peak Cog Railway, the Durango and Silverton narrow gauge, steam train,
all of it. This was worth it. This was. I'm gonna print the pictures out when I get back.
There you go. And it still won't do it justice.
No, it won't. It will not.
But it's not over. Little did we know, a surprise is awaiting us back on the train. So I know we were on the luxury car on the way out here. This time we're not. Here's your ticket. We're headed to the Pullman car. Luxury car, first class car. I think we're a ways down. Oh, I think this is it. Pullman? Pullman. Will's eager to get on the old car, but I'm just realizing this is the end of our trip together. From this point on, we split up and we both go our own ways. Even with the excitement of a new rail car, or an old rail car, and some fun entertainment on board, the mood is different on the way back. We've accomplished what we've come here to do, and with 3 weeks of exciting rail adventures together complete, this is the end of this journey together. And I think Will realizes that. Or maybe he's just tired. I'm glad I didn't spend extra money on luxury return tickets as well if he's just gonna sleep through it. I should add this episode was filmed a while ago, and we might be on our next adventure together already. So if you want to find out where Will and I are right now, follow us both on Instagram for our current updates. Little does Will know, our adventure isn't quite over yet.
So keep a lookout for some dirty, dangerous looking train robbers on horses.
Uh-oh, I just heard the gang's out of jail.
Not your necklace. I gotta make sure I hide my necklace. Yeah. My valuables.
So they say they're gonna rob us of our valuables, but they're not very smart. We can distract them with the dollar bill. So I'm ready. And just as I expected, I knew it wouldn't be the last time we see these Western characters. Hide our cameras. This train might be over, but my trip isn't. Have a great trip home. As I've been making my way from the most southern train station in America to the most northern, I've helped my mom cross Utah off her bucket list, and I helped Will ride his first cog railway, steam train, and now cross the Grand Canyon off his bucket list. Which means it's time for me to accomplish a big goal from my list. This is America's longest ferry, taking us 97 hours to get from Bellingham, Washington to Whittier, Alaska. That's 5 nights, 6 days on board a ferry that costs more than a cruise, but has fewer amenities. Welcome to the Alaska Marine Highway System. So my train trip across America has led us here. This is the last Amtrak stop in America, Bellingham, Washington. And we really couldn't have picked a closer spot from the Amtrak station to the ferry we're taking. That's it right there. And for the ending of this series, I've invited the hardest working team I know to enjoy it with me. There they are. They're here. They beat me.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, guys. You made it.
We did.
There they are, the two that's helped make all of this happen. Oh!
We gotta make this quick as we talk.
Matt and Warwick, they've worked on the series tirelessly, episodes 1 through 8, and now they get to ride along and enjoy episodes 9 and 10. Guess first things first, check in. I booked us the small interior berth, but figured I'd ask if there's an upgrade possible. There isn't a 4-berth cabin available, is there? Yeah. Wait, so we're upgrading to a 4-bed, upgrading for less money. Wow. Oh, you did it? We saw this in last episode too when we got upgraded last minute. Always ask. Always ask. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's board and take a look at this fine vessel.
All the way across America by train. We're about to board this and continue northwest.
The MS Kennecott will be our home for the next 5 nights.
To boat up or not to boat up? That is the question. I feel like that's gonna be our line for the rest of this episode is, gentlemen, boat up. So this is the purser. This is where we're gonna get our room key.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Here we go. Thank you.
Let's check out our room.
Welcome to our berth aboard the MV Kennecott. Welcome aboard.
I think you pushed.
Oh, it's a push. Okay, all right. So we've got bed here, window, which is what we want, the views. This is a huge bathroom. Sink, toilet, shower.
Nice, okay. Nice. Okay, so there's 2 beds and there's 3 of us. Oh, looks like we've got some life jackets here.
And what Warwick and I have just learned is there's no door to the bathroom.
Nope.
Just this curtain. 5 days, 3 guys.
I knew that'd be something.
This is our home for the next 5 nights. Should we go look around the rest of the boat?
Yeah.
This is a 9-deck vessel, 380 feet long, and can hold up to 750 passengers.
Best spot to watch the takeoff, this momentous moment. 5 nights on board, listening to the trains go by, on the back of the boat. Here we go.
And right on time, we're untied and now officially leaving the lower 48 and headed to the largest state in America. I'm just realizing that we have over 1,300 miles to journey on this ferry and still have another week until I get to the most northern train station, yet I've crossed through 28 states and traveled over 7,000 miles by train, and I'm glad I have these 2 guys along for the finish. All right, let's continue to check out this huge ship.
Capacity 150. That is a big lifeboat. Oh yeah. Can we go up? Yeah, always go up. Oh. I guess if you didn't pay for a room, you sleep here. It's warm.
You are allowed to camp on the outdoor decks. There are a lot of different seating areas.
This is the aft lounge. And this is the lower aft lounge. This is nice. Good place to read and just watch the view. And this is the forward lounge.
I guess we'll be doing a lot of sitting on this trip.
Let's go see what's on level 7. This is the one with everything, really. So this is the food court eating area. Wait, what? There's a bar on board.
A couple of entertainment areas.
Oh, board games. And the movie theater. Let's not look yet. Let's come in for 7 o'clock because they're playing Alaska's Inside Passage. Very, very fitting. Yes. Wow, 5 days of this? Pretty good.
Basically, we're already bored and there isn't any Wi-Fi for us for the next 5 days.
Welcome to dinner.
There is a cafeteria on board where we'll be eating all of our meals. It's simple with kind of a cool retro styling that you would expect on a ferry to Alaska, but what I didn't expect is the daily specials board with a rotating menu of freshly cooked meals. And it was so good. I mean, we almost always choose it. Tonight, there are 2 specials and we ordered both.
Look at the pot roast.
Barbecue pulled pork pasta, please. All right. First meal on the ferry. Already. That's good.
Oh, even the Brussels sprouts are good. You kidding me?
Wow.
I never
Bro. Oh my god. It's just, wow. There's a lot of flavor in there. For ferry food for the next 4 nights after tonight, we're happy?
Yeah.
I have to admit, that is a huge relief that the food is good. Because we have nothing else packed.
On this trip, we'll spend the first 2 days passing through Canada. You don't need a passport for this trip because the boat doesn't stop in Canada. But I live in Vancouver, so it's weird to be this close to my home city and not stop. As we continue northbound past Vancouver, we get this amazing sunset to kind of set us off at the beginning of this trip.
Holy, what a night. I'm looking forward to more of these.
And we actually end up racing one of my local BC ferries. But at this moment, I'm not in a rush. These are the moments that never last long enough. And so, after being apart for 2 months, it's time to just kind of catch up and hang out in our room. I mean, there's no Wi-Fi or anything else to do. They wanted to hear all about the trip. And as you've already seen, well, I had a lot to tell.
Good night, guys.
I slept pretty well. It's a slower rock than the train. It's just a really long back and forth, which is
time for breakfast.
I feel like I'm back at summer camp or a high school cafeteria or something. It's kind of fun, but the food is good.
The thing is, once we're done eating, we don't really have anything to do.
It's 11:30 in the morning and we're still sitting around the breakfast table because we kind of have nowhere else to go or anything to do.
And yet something tells me a day on a ferry is not any ordinary day. There, whales! There it is! Oh wow, that's a tail! Ah!
And we decided to take a late morning session in the room. Some working, some reading, some napping. I won't say who's doing what.
Hey, give me a break, will ya? After 2 months on the road, I need a nap. And before you know it, it's time to eat again.
I feel like we just go from one meal to the next.
As we come into one of the narrowest segments of the trip, this stunning landscape gets a lot closer to us. And with that, we get to see some of the small coastal communities up here as well.
Oh, what is that? Look at that ship. Is that a massive yacht or a small cruise ship? I feel like we're being hunted down. But apart from that, it's so peaceful out here. No cell service, no buildings, just nature. So this might be one of the narrowest stretches we go through on our way to Alaska. And not only do we have the big yacht chasing us and catching up to us, but we've caught up to a BC ferry. And because it's so narrow, none of us can pass. So we're just tagging along.
Even though we're on a ferry and not a cruise ship, the nice thing is we still get the exact same views they do.
This place is real.
This is insane.
I should add, Warwick is from Australia, if you can't tell by his accent. So this is...
I've never seen anything like this before. This is just unfathomable.
Fathom it, my friend.
Yeah.
There's a lot more of this coming.
Yeah. I'm sure it's not really coming across the camera. I hope it translates well, but like this does not look real.
No. I really have to say, I think this might be the best way to travel to Alaska, because instead of just flying in and being there, you have 5 days of buildup of the landscape changing from what is Washington State through all of British Columbia and ending in the massive Alaska.
Yeah.
And you get to spend 5 days going through this.
I feel like we have this whole thing to ourselves. This is so cool.
I've never seen you smile that big before. You're happy.
Big smiles, big smiles.
We spend all afternoon on the deck, just taking it all in. While looking out at the mountains and water here, it's hard for me not to recognize how varied the landscape in the United States is. From the orange groves of Florida, to the beautiful green Amish country of Pennsylvania, to the misty mountain of New Hampshire, the lonely desert of the Lone State, the red rocks of Utah, the high altitude thin air of Pikes Peak, the canyons of Colorado, and the incredible Grand Canyon. It's so varied and so vast. I mean, America really does offer it all. And back here on the boat, crossing through Canada, I can feel it. The excitement for Alaska is growing.
I am looking forward to the train trip in Alaska. That's a classic Downey adventure
that you haven't done yet.
I've edited and seen so much footage of trains, but I've never been on a train trip.
And now we're doing it.
Yeah.
I hate to leave this, but should we do dinner?
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
We each got the same meal, 3 baked chickens. All right, but tonight, we're gonna try the bar.
This small bar is only open in the evening and is the social gathering spot for everyone on board. I mean, really, it's just a change of scenery from the other sitting areas on board, but it is a nice way to end the day.
Feels like a small town bar.
Yeah, it really does.
So the bar only serves beer and wine, of which we got one of each. What's your ferry experience?
It's very exciting.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Been sitting on that one for 24 hours now.
Now that you've had 2 sips of Cabernet Sauvignon,
yeah.
How's your ferry experience?
It's very exciting.
No, great experience actually. You have nowhere to go, nothing to do, no service, good friends. Is that one too many wines or is this the boat rocking you, Matt? I guess what's next is we have a little surprise in the morning. We're gonna be able to go onto land today. This is Ketchikan, Alaska. Last night we crossed back into the United States and well, we're gonna get about 3 hours on land.
When I booked these tickets, I knew the ferry made stops along the way, but I didn't think that we'd be able to get off.
We haven't been down here in 2 days. Day 3, getting to go outside. I don't know what I expected. This is a very Alaska day. This feels kind of like a bigger moment than I expected. This is my first time setting foot on Alaska ground. We spent the last 2 months traveling across the country by train for this moment. I don't feel much different.
I still feel like I'm moving a little bit.
We're in Alaska.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because we're not on a cruise ship, there aren't any day trips or expeditions planned for us. You are welcome to get off the boat, but what you do is up to you.
I'm gonna spend some time in the appropriately named Ketchikan Misty Fjord here in the Tongass National Forest. Holy, look at the eagles right down here on the main street. I don't know if I've ever been so close to one before.
Clearly, we were very unprepared. We decided to walk into town and we just sort of picked a coffee shop as a destination.
I see you, baby.
Yeah, we've walked 45 minutes, 2 miles, and we found the coffee shop we're looking for.
Let's get it.
I think I'd like a latte, please.
And it's pretty clear that we are not the only visitors here today.
Something tells me this cruise ship is bigger than our ferry.
Ketchikan, Alaska is a small town with a population of about 8,000 people, which more than doubles when the cruise ships stop in port.
These are some big boats coming into this little town.
But it's also Alaska's first city. I suppose that's because it's the first stop when you come by boat, but it's also the salmon capital of the world.
This is where the salmon run, headed upstream, just not this time of year.
No fish swimming upstream today, but we did see a harbor seal.
This is wild Alaska already. This is what I imagined of Ketchikan, a little like fishing village. So this apparently is the historic red light district, or it says Dear Dolly's house, where both men and salmon came upstream to spawn. So apparently prostitution was legal here from 1903 to 1953, but alcohol was prohibited.
While it was a hardworking town, it feels much more suited to tourists today.
Obviously, way back in the day, really meant something to the people here. But now it's just tourist
Just
now.
souvenir shops.
Yeah,
What'd you get?
Anti-nausea.
Yeah, motion sickness pills?
Yes, sir.
Ferry rocked a little bit last night. Yeah. In our 3 hours on land, I got 10,000 steps in. I guess that's it. Back onto the vessel for another 3 days. Ketchikan was like a teaser of what's to come in Alaska.
So, off we go again, with our next stop not until tomorrow morning, which means we have nothing left to do this afternoon. So we settle in to our new routine. A little work, a little relaxation, watch an Alaska documentary, take in the scenery, do a little more work, and then the weather worsens.
This is the most rocking we've experienced. It's not side to side, it's up and down, forward and back.
I'm trying to edit like,
It's getting rocky for the first time. Wow. When there's no windows around, you can't see it coming.
Yeah.
And with very little to do during the day, dinner is always a treat.
It looks amazing. When they loaded it up, I was like, let's go.
But there's always a little bit of excitement on the ferry.
oh yeah. Whales, we gotta go.
There. Oh, splash! Wow. There's 4. It's like these whales have interrupted our dinner, but where else? This isn't a whale watching tour. This is a ferry. Nice and close. Look at that. Wow, what a night. Look at the sun. Getting a little blue sky now.
And even when there's nothing to do,
the days fly by. But I'm determined to go see as much of it as I can and bring you along, obviously. And so this is Juneau, Alaska's capital city.
Not only is Juneau the capital city of Alaska, but fun fact, it's also the second largest city in America by area. We know we want to see as much as we can in the 4 hours we have on shore, but the one thing we don't have is a plan.
This is the unexpected part of the trips. I didn't plan on being able to get off the boat. This is all bonus time. You know I love these bonus side excursions, side quests. We're not in town right now, so we have to see if we can get a cab. Do you have room for 3 to historic Juneau?
I'm here for Gina.
Oh, okay, you're here for Gina.
Oh, Gina.
That'd be great. Well, we'll pay our share. Yeah, we'd love to go Glacier.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Gina, I should say. I'm Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hi.
And then we're going downtown.
Perfect. That's exactly what we want to do. Thank you.
Luckily for us, Gina had a plan. Gina called this taxi and is also kind enough to share it with us, knowing it could be a long time until another taxi is available. I guess those few times we bumped into each other in the cafeteria have paid off. And our next stop is the Mendenhall Glacier.
I didn't know there was a glacier in Juneau, and we wouldn't have done it, Gina, if you hadn't asked us.
Wow.
Holy, that is a huge wall of ice.
This glacier is 13 miles long and is mesmerizing more than you think a pile of ice would.
It's 7:30 in the morning. What a way to wake up.
Whoa, yeah. That was really cold.
Glacial fed lake.
Yeah.
Straight from the ice. Doesn't get much colder.
My goodness, this place is beautiful. I mean, even without the glaciers, this place is stunning, and with it, mesmerizing.
Wow. This is why you get off when you can. Get off the ferry. I did not expect any of this. When you come see a glacier in person, you realize they're not actually white. They're like a piercing light blue. We're walking through town in a back lot now, and you just come around a corner and there's a massive mountain in front of you.
Wow.
Getting our caffeine fix for the day.
With the remaining time in town, Warwick insists on coffee, while I don't want to miss the ferry.
It's never long enough, particularly when a ferry might leave without you.
What's up, Buttercup?
Thanks for coming back to get us.
You bet.
All right, thank you, C-Top. Made it. All right, that was Juno. Who knows where we'll end up tomorrow morning?
And it's back out to sea we go. But it seems like this time, I won't get a nap.
That was the signal for abandoned ship. All hands report to your abandoned ship stations.
I'm not about to ignore a little excitement when I have a full day of nothing to do. Let's go check it out. The entire crew on board the vessel is participating in this training for all life rafts on the boat.
By law, they have to practice them once a week, so this is just a drill.
They're testing the emergency response of the crew and the launching systems for the life rafts.
This is cool to see. We have a little audience up on the deck here, all watching. Thank goodness, it's just a drill. But I've never seen this before.
I went from being alarmed about this all to suddenly feeling much safer seeing them in action. Looks like everything works.
Feeling good for the next 2 days.
And lunch for me is a little comfort food treat.
I can't remember the last time I had a meatloaf, but it looks great. I like all the different options you get on the ferry here. I did not expect that. I thought they'd repeat.
Oh, that's good, right away.
So it's so incredibly calm out here at the moment. So I came up to the top deck to just enjoy it.
I don't know it yet, but I've unfortunately just jinxed us by saying the water is calm. Perhaps a little too calm. What I don't know is that this is the calm before the storm. You can see the wind and the waves starting to appear now and build up a little bit, but I don't think anything of it, so we're headed to dinner.
Pork roast or cod, when you don't feel those options, you look at the regular menu.
But as you can see here in the cafeteria, we start to notice a difference.
It has changed drastically since I was saying how calm it is out there. I don't think the camera's quite picking it up, but we are a-rockin' again. Oh, it's hard on the legs.
Knowing we're entering rough seas, I need to get some fresh air.
I'm not trying to play this up and say it's all a crazy storm. But it's starting to rock a lot. That's all. Oh, that's a big one. Watch this. Watch, watch, watch. Oh my gosh. Whoa!
The seas are rough, but at least the air is fresh. I hate to think how sick Warwick and Matt are feeling inside our cabin right now. They need to be out here.
Let's see how the guys are feeling.
Oh, how you guys doing?
To be honest, Mike, not doing too good.
Not doing too good?
No.
Can I make a recommendation that may sound crazy? It feels a lot better out in the fresh air and being on the front deck and seeing the waves come rather than lying here in a closed room.
You think?
I'm honest, it's kind of fun out there. In here, it's just sickening. Just try it. If you already feel bad, what's the worst that could happen?
Alright, let's do it. Oh, okay, yeah, do this. I feel immediately better.
Fresh air and seeing it coming, so much better than sitting in the room.
I know at the moment we're all outside feeling sick, but this is kind of the moment I've enjoyed the most from the trip so far. I'm pretty sure none of the other passengers would agree with me, but that's because they're not on the front deck, laughing in the rain. I mean, we're out here riding out the storm together. Okay, geez, that really sounds like I'm making this some sort of metaphor, but I'm not.
It was all fun of Mike. Thanks for bringing us to Alaska until day 4.
You know the feeling you get on a roller coaster when you're at the top?
Yeah,
and then you go to, we're getting a bit of that.
Except we're on a 500-foot long ship.
Yeah.
We took a bad situation and found a way to make it fun.
You rock. Just sleep.
I will.
Good night. Sleep well. Feel better. Good night.
Little 6 a.m. action here this morning.
Okay, different way to board and disembark. It's worth getting up early for. All right, good morning, Yakutat. Let's go. So you know this is a small town when the ferry terminal isn't actually a permanent ferry terminal. but it's a fisheries dock that they just use for us to get on.
Yakutat is our shortest stopover of the trip, with just about a half hour on land or so. But it's also the smallest town with a population of only 600 people. But the only road in and out of this community is this ferry. This is why the Alaska Marine Highway is so important. It's the only supply access for residents. So let's take a quick look around and see what's here.
There's one business in town, the general store, and it opens in 30 minutes, so we're gonna miss it. And here is the Yakutat District Court, the police car, the radio station, there's City Hall, and we found the only stop sign in town. Well, thanks for coming to our tour of Yakutat. It's raining. We're gonna go back to bed.
You may have noticed that there aren't any tourism businesses here in Yakutat, and that's because the cruise ships don't stop here. Another reason to take the ferry instead.
There we go. We walked the entire town, circumnavigated the town in less than 1,500 steps.
And so, what do you do on your last day?
Taking a little post-walk nap, just to warm up and dry off.
But when I wake up, it looks like a completely new day. Blue skies and calm seas have us smiling. So, what do we do with our last day? We do what we've always done. A little team building. I don't know if we'll ever get this. Some more, as we call it, film studies of these black and white Alaska documentaries.
Last ice complete.
And of course, we go for an outdoor walk back to our favorite spots.
It's warm and sunny out today. Oh, how the weather has changed from last night. Matt's in shorts. It's really warm out all of a sudden. How has your time been aboard the MV Kennecott?
There's been ups and downs.
Reference to last night?
That's been great. Yeah, food's been amazing. View's been amazing. If you don't get seasick at least once, are you really on an adventure?
That's well put. I don't really know what I expected from this trip, but I think it's exceeded it. I mean, I like that we didn't rush into Alaska. We didn't just fly in. We got to experience a lot. And we still have Alaska to see.
Time flies. It goes a lot quicker than you expect when there's no phone service or anything. Yeah.
I think we can all agree 5 days is a long time, but it's flown by.
Yeah, 100%. It's hard to believe we're getting off in like 12 hours. Yeah.
I think this is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
I mean, it's day 5 now. We actually have memories from all over this boat at this point. Speaking of memories,
Kate decided to draw some of the episodes on the postcards.
No way!
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's episode 3.
Because she loved the series so much.
Kate is his partner who is an artist. And she has an Etsy store. Can we sell these?
Sure.
That is so cool. I love it. We got it all figured out. This is future Mike, future Warwick, his wife Kate. She's drawn all 10 episodes. We've gotten them printed. We're gonna sell them in packs of 10. So you buy a pack, you're gonna get all 10 drawings. The paper is 90% recycled, and she doesn't know how many we're printing, but we're printing 250 of them. So get them early because they're gonna go. She also will have digital prints there, so you can blow it up if you like any one in particular. I picked this size because they make for a great postcard if you wanna send them to anyone, or I don't know, Christmas is coming up, need Christmas cards. Lucky Hughes, I've linked it down below to her Etsy page. We're gonna sell her out and blow it up. This is awesome. Thank you, Kate, for the incredible artwork. This is so cool.
Barbecue brisket for the last night.
Oh, yes.
Dinner tonight feels like the beginning of the end. It's not just another surprisingly delicious meal, but it's seeing our new friends for the last time.
I mean, we have to spend 5 days with you, so we're glad you were so great. Awesome. So fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice flirting with me. I knew I was handsome or something.
You guys ready?
Ready.
All right.
The fun people you get to know when the only place to eat for the last 15 meals is in the cafeteria right here.
Unexpected pleasure. Unexpected delight.
The Alaska Marine Highway system set low expectations, but exceeded them every step of the way. Its plain rooms were a lot more comfortable than we first thought. The food is actually delicious, and the staff are great.
Don't miss us too much.
South Kid, you know what? These guys are awesome. Watch your channel. Like
You don't have to tell them to subscribe and all that. They already know to do that. Mondo, great to meet you. All the best. Bye, Renee. Thank you.
Take care of you guys.
The charm is in the old Alaska documentaries, the artwork on the walls, the small town bar, and just stopping in small towns like Yakutat. This is not a cruise ship, and that's exactly what I love about it. I didn't think I'd say this after 5 days on board a ferry, but we kind of don't really want to leave. And so as we wind down our last night in the bar playing games, I'm left unable to sleep. It's exactly midnight, and I'm starting to wonder if it's ever going to get actually dark outside. It's this weird dark blue kind of still light out. The other thing that's interesting is that everyone is getting off the ship tomorrow except for 10 people who are continuing on. There's no one inside, there's no one outside. It's midnight on our last night. There's nothing left to show you on the boat. So let's just cut to us getting off at Whittier. We wake up on our last morning just as we're pulling into port. No one's forgetting anything? Nope. Good to go? Gentlemen, no more boat up. We boat down.
Boat down.
Yeah, this is it. After 5 nights aboard the MV Kennecott, we have arrived in Whittier, Alaska. Alaska! We made it! And that, the Alaska Railroad, is why we're here. That's next episode. For now, we have to explore Whittier. So Whittier isn't so much a town as it is a port location, where the ship came in and they transfer everything to train. And everyone in town apparently lives in that building there. This town is not our end destination. We're headed north by train, but that's not for another 10 hours. So we can wander around town, even find a comfortable, warm, and dry place to sit to spend the day. But you know, that's not like me. I'm gonna leave the guys there, leave them working, and I heard next door might be something that interests us to help us kill some time we have here. Luckily for us, right next to the ferry terminal is a glacier tour that leaves right now. No point spending 5 days on a boat without seeing much. Might as well come and experience it a little bit. Time to enjoy Alaska. Right, guys? Are you enjoying Alaska?
Yes.
They're thrilled. We're taking a giant catamaran to go see some glaciers. This high-speed catamaran is taking us through glacier-carved fjords into Prince William Sound. And as you can tell by the ice floating in the water and the fact that we're going past glacier after glacier after glacier, that this is one of the largest concentrations of tidewater glaciers in the world. Glaciers. These glaciers are amazing. This is what we came for. We did it! Look at the size of this glacier. It's 8 miles deep and 1 mile across. This is Alaska! You get mesmerized by the glacier, but if you turn around, the waterfalls everywhere are incredible. They'd be worth coming to see just on their own. And as you know, this is not the end of our trip, because we are here in Whittier, Alaska. Welcome to the finale of DownieLive Travels by Train America! And if you didn't know, I'm traveling with my editor Matt and my other editor Warwick, and so I think this is our cue to board. This is the adventure of Alaska. So our trip today starts in adventure class, but these guys don't know it, but tomorrow's trip is in gold class. The car is tall, spacious, the seating is muted retro styling, which I love, and quite comfortable. Comfortable? Oh, look at all the legroom we've got. So our journey tonight starts with a 2.5-hour trip from Whittier to Anchorage, where we'll spend the night. And then we have a 12-hour train ride from Anchorage all the way to Fairbanks. But the interesting part about this specific route we're riding on right now is this tunnel coming up right here. This tunnel is the only tunnel in North America to be shared by both trains and vehicles. It's only a single directional tunnel, which means traffic has to alternate as it goes back and forth, and then trains take priority as they come through. Now finally, we're back out in the daylight to see Alaska. But we're not out here for too long until we enter a second tunnel. This tunnel is so narrow at one point that they slow the train down almost to walking pace so that the train doesn't sway back and forth and hit the sides of the tunnel. I just thought that was interesting. Let's continue northward to Anchorage. What a day to be on the rails. Wow, look at this. Now, I'm told to keep an eye out for one of the old cabooses still in use up here. That's an actual caboose. I can't believe they still use cabooses. Alaska is the largest state in the United States and nicknamed the Last Frontier. And from here, well, I can see why. There's nothing here but majestic wilderness. You have to admit, the blue and yellow stands out here in the gray and green. The trains look good. Not only is our passenger car here on the Alaska Railroad quite comfortable, like...
This is better than first class in airplanes. This is better than this is practically a lay flat pod.
Just need cucumbers on the eyes.
Yeah, we've been on it for about 20 minutes now, and there is water on both sides. The scenery in Alaska is remarkable, but we just got here. Have you been on a real train before?
Only city trains.
Only city train. Welcome to the wilderness of Alaska by rail.
Feels like a movie.
All you have to do is sit back and relax. We've lost him.
Feels like I've been transported back in time and I'm experiencing what travel was like back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, these rail cars were probably built in the 1950s, maybe the 60s.
Yeah.
Wow. I think you might hear a lot of that. It's one thing to keep your eyes open and enjoy the scenery, but it takes a sharp eye to spot wildlife. Moose? You have to be louder. I can tell a hole. Oh yeah, there. Oh yeah. Good eye, our first moose. Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
On our left is the inlet, and on our right is the Chugach National Forest, and we follow along the Seward Highway for most of this trip. I don't even know what side to look out. You know, we've got mountains on this side, you've got the mud flats on that side, the river. It's amazing. Sitting inside and watching the view pass by is calming, and this view really feels like we're headed towards the end of this trip. Maybe it's just the lighting. Maybe it's having been traveling for the last 9 weeks, but this feels like the beginning of the end. What we've completely forgotten at this point is that this isn't our big final train ride to the most northern station in America. That's tomorrow. This is just a 2-hour trip to get us from Whittier to Anchorage, and it's already exceeding our expectations, which should be a little teaser to you that tomorrow is one of the best train trips I've ever experienced. But now we're starting to notice a few more buildings and homes than before, which means we're pulling in to Alaska's largest city. Oh, bye everybody. Bye guys. Here we go. Thanks Faith, see you tomorrow. That was just the first leg of our trip. We'll be right back here in 12 hours for our 12-hour journey to Fairbanks. Anchorage is the hub for the Alaska Railroad Service, and it's home to 300,000 residents. But tonight, that number is 300,003, but we're not here long. Here we go, day 2. And today's trip is much busier than last night's train. All aboard! This train between Anchorage to Fairbanks is really a tourist attraction in itself. So the guys don't know it yet, but yesterday I booked us on the adventure class, one of these trains. But we are now going on the Denali Star in gold class, because it's the finale. We had to. Car A.
Welcome aboard.
Oh, already. So let's take a look at our home for the next 12 hours. And so our car goes up. Gentlemen, welcome to Alaska Railroad Gold Class.
Damn, bro.
I'd like to immediately point out the massive size of the windows. Uninterrupted. Welcome aboard, Matt.
Thanks.
I feel bad. You said yesterday this is your first train experience, and this is going to be one of the best in the world.
Oh, damn.
Okay. So we have the large passenger area with the big viewing windows, but if that's not enough to see the scenery, we have the outdoor viewing deck on the 2nd floor. And even the viewing deck has a glass ceiling. So really, you'll never miss anything. This whole train is designed with one thing in mind: to let you experience as much of Alaska as you can. So we have to wear this pin that says Gold Star Service, because this is what gets us into the dining car downstairs. And we'll show you that. We're getting 3 meals today. We haven't left the station yet, but apparently it's breakfast time.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Hungry. I'm Michael. That's it. We're off. Slowly. Out of town. Here we go. I can't believe this is coming to the end of the series. I don't think it could have finished in any better way. Which means large windows in the dining room, but also serving local food, like the reindeer sausage. Wow, that's nice. Slightly chewier, but not really tasty. And typical me, eh? 9 a.m. and I'm already chatting with other guests on board. But as I've said before, the beauty is that none of us have anywhere to be. Now there's something I always like to do after eating a meal. All right, I think it's time for our famous bathroom tour. or a lavatory in this case. Okay. Wow. I like the sconce lighting in here. Little faux wood, little faux metal, great mirrors, good corner sink. Most importantly, tons of space. Odd toilet angle, but I don't hate it. I think this is a great bathroom. Now the dining room isn't the only place where you get served. You can have drinks at your seat. Mimosas in Alaska. Who would have thought?
A little strong.
We do get to stretch our legs at a few stops along the way.
So the nice thing about the Alaska Railroad is it has the upper deck. So you don't have to step out when it comes to the stations, but you know I like to. So this is Talkeetna, Alaska. Not much to see, but we have 15 minutes here. They called all aboard. We're coming! Oh gosh, we strayed too far. Warwick, I'll hold the train for you. Thank you guys. Whew. Whew. Barely. Just in time. Thank you, Colin. This is so different than Florida 10 weeks ago.
Now, I should tell you, for the Gold Star service, tickets are just over $400, but they include 3 meals, 2 alcoholic beverages, and complimentary views of the endless Alaska landscape over a 12-hour trip.
I have to say I'm surprised, but they just switched that switch manually. I guess this is Alaska, they still do that. Come on! Come on! I don't know where the time has gone. It's already 12:30, so we're headed to lunch.
I'm sitting down to lunch with these two, realizing how lucky I am to get to bring them along and have us experience the ending of the series together.
Got a reindeer penne bolognese. Got myself the veggie burger.
And I too went with the veggie burger. Looks good.
So what do we do after lunch? You know me, straight back to the deck.
It's just so green. I love it.
And not another person, building, or vehicle in sight. Coming up here is one of the iconic moments along this stretch of track. It's the spot that for the first time on this trip has Matt saying,
"Whoa, wow, very cool, holy moly."
We're now crossing the Hurricane Gulch. The bridge span is 904 feet long. We're over 200 feet high. And it's actually just turned over 100 years old. How's it going?
It's going great. Beautiful scenery. No signs of bears just yet, but I'm not giving my hopes up and having a great time.
I'm excited to see what's in Fairbanks.
I can tell you what's in Fairbanks. The most northern train station. This is the halfway point of our trip, and that right there is our sister train, the Denali Star, headed south. We're gonna stop here and we're gonna switch crews with them. So the crew that's been with us headed north from Anchorage will get off and then head back south on that train. And that way they get to spend the night at home rather than in another city. Hi guys, enjoy your trip. Come on, Warwick, wave.
I'm waving.
Do the train wave.
I'm waving. Hey.
Bye. That's it. Off they go south, and I guess that means we're going north. When I started the series of this, it was just an idea of, sure, you could technically connect it. I don't think I really expected to have the experiences that I did on this trip. Getting to ride America's fastest train, the oldest train, some of the most unique, like the steepest train or the highest altitude, which are both cog railways. There's just such a diversity of trains, but it's not about the train. It's about where you end up, where it takes you, and the random adventures you have along the way. And I don't know if you can tell, but this has been a very fulfilling trip. Even though it's coming to the end, I feel like we did it right. That's our cue.
It's true. I come for the trains, but the moments off the train are just as memorable. Whether it's seeing the Washington Monument for the first time, riding in an Amish buggy, eating in the hotel where the World Bank was signed into order, or partying in San Antonio with my dad, off-roading with my mom in Utah, driving the Pikes Peak Highway with Will, visiting Mesa Verde National Park, and of course, taking Will to see the Grand Canyon for the first time. These trains might be the destination, but they're only one part of the adventure.
I think if I've learned anything from this trip, be nice to people, make the most out of the situation, and say yes to opportunities that come along, because everything's worth it with the right attitude. Wow, we're just entering the Denali National Park Reserve, and along in the side is Mount McKinley, the tallest mountain in North America. It's hard to see with the clouds, but that might be it.
It's such a popular tourist stop that it's also where we'll lose a lot of our new friends.
This is Denali. Have a great trip. Bye. Nice to meet you. Bye, AJ. Bye, guys. Bye, Colin. It's 4 p.m. in the afternoon and I have 2,671 steps. That's not a good look.
All right, back on?
Basically.
Yeah, back on the train.
This whole train car was full of passengers and now only the first 4 rows are full, but we're getting a lot of new passengers on, so it'll be a different dynamic this afternoon. We just spent all morning getting to know these people and now we have to start all over. Don't worry, strangers are just friends you haven't met yet. So they slow down the train for 2 reasons. The first is, this is the scenic parts. They want to make sure you get all the photos you can get. The other reason is there are a lot of rock fall hazard areas. They're not worried about rocks falling and hitting the train, but they're worried about coming around a corner and there already being a rock fall. So they go nice and slow through certain sections, but I am not complaining. This is basically what I came here for. Running along these canyons is my favorite part. Some of the best scenery in the country, passing you by slowly with just a little wind in your hair. And nothing wrong with that. Wow. Wow.
We're back to the wow part of the trip.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna get my Polaroid. I'm scared to take a photo and have it fly out.
Oh, it'll fly out.
Oh, trestle. With 12 hours to enjoy it all, you never feel rushed. You really actually relax and appreciate where you are. Experiences like this, you can only get on the train, under a bridge, with the right crew. I don't know if you needed a reason to come to Alaska, but this might be it. This might be it. Let's go, nature! Yeah. Which at the moment is in the middle of nowhere. But in reality, you're in a comfortable train with nowhere to be but here. That'll never get old. Now, let me tell you, it's a good place to be.
Oh, wow! Where did they go?
Two of them.
Woo!
Let's go!
We got moose!
How do you see that?
A keen eye. Sitting down for dinner. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
My last supper on a train for a while.
What can I say but wow?
Wow. Look at this. Look at this.
Look at us.
Look at us. Thank you for doing that. But if this is your first time here, you can subscribe down below. And for dessert, we're having, very fittingly, mousse. Triple chocolate mousse.
Cheers, boys. Get the train so you can get the moose.
This is both Matt's first time seeing a moose and trying a moose.
Whoa.
Like I say, when you're on the train, get the dessert. I feel like it's the perfect little size, so you can't really feel guilty. It's just like, I'm just gonna taste it. I'm just tasting the moose. Are we getting sunshine? Is this happening at the end of the trip? Always have to end it on a bright note. The tough part about this trip is literally watching the mile markers count towards the end of the trip, but it's not the end of the journey. You see, this is episode 10 of 10 on this train trip across America. But I started this YouTube channel 6 years ago when I got laid off from my job, which is then when I decided to start the YouTube channel and follow my passion for travel. Following my gut, trusting myself, and being creative is what's gotten me here, which at the moment happens to be Alaska. But in reality, it means here, as in a full-time adventure vlogger. I get to travel for my job. Now, to pay for my travels at the beginning of my YouTube channel, I briefly worked at a junk removal company where I met my friend Riley, who is a very talented composer and audio engineer, and now I actually get to hire to master all of the audio on this series. This video isn't sponsored, so I figured I might as well take a second to promote Riley Koenig Music and thank him for all the work he's done on this series. And in case you're a YouTuber or a creative and need help with audio, I'll leave him linked in the description. But also, a year ago, I was filming season 1 of DownieLive Travels by Train and needed more editing help for my first big series. And I just so happened to have met Warwick at the right time, and he stepped up immediately to the huge workload to get us back on track. Pun intended. He's been critical to the team over the last year, and he's turned out to be a pretty fun friend too, which makes having him here all the better. And a big thanks to his wife Kate, who helped create all the artwork and cards for this series that are almost all sold out, but you can still purchase them. And I've left a link in the description to her Etsy store as well. Seriously, the artwork is beautiful and I would love to sell them out for her and just surprise her with that. Thank you, Kate. But I wouldn't have made it this far without this guy.
2 years ago, I met Matt, and I hired him as my first editor, and he instantly improved my videos. I mean, really, he's the one who makes all my silly ideas come true. Without him, the Washington Monument wouldn't have fallen. It would just look like this. So, thanks for sticking with me, Matt. You're a good friend and an even better editor, and I'm glad we're finally getting the chance to travel together. All right, I know you came here to watch an episode about a train in Alaska and not a bunch of thank yous, but we do have to remember to appreciate those around us because, well, these moments won't last forever. So, whatever your dream is, remember, small steps now mean big progress over time, and the only person that's going to chase your dreams is you. So you'd better get started. It's the only reason I'm here. And if you can, find yourself a Warwick and a Matt. You'll go further together. In fact, they'll help get you all the way to Alaska. And here we are, arriving at America's most northern passenger rail station. Welcome to Fairbanks, Alaska. It's amazing how quickly these moments end. But remember, it's the beginning of the next adventure.
So this is it, Fairbanks Station, America's most northern train station. I really hope you've enjoyed traveling across the country with me. From Warwick, Matt, and myself, a sincere thank you for watching.